increase interest rates.
The BBC's Jonathan Josephs. Seeking unity, President Biden instead finding no small level of discord at the Summit of the Americas being hosted this time around by the U.S. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. GOP senators are, for the most part, holding off on taking public positions on emerging Senate gun legislation, the request of Texas Senator John Cornyn. He's the lead Republican negotiator in talks with the Democrats.
Senator Cornyn wants to keep his GOP colleagues on the sidelines for the moment so he has a chance to negotiate a bill before the effort gets ripped up by critics. The senior Texas senator has the blessing of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who wants to see a bipartisan deal on legislation to respond directly to the mass shooting in Uvalde. Republicans in recent days have been quick to put support behind ideas centering on mental health treatment and bolstering school security, but they've largely avoided publicly commenting on proposals relating more directly to limiting access to firearms that have emerged in the talks. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Recapping the hour's lead story, the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index rocketed 8.6% higher last month compared to a year earlier. Inflation showing no signs of slowing down. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday. It may not be the Friday you want, but it's the Friday you need.
This is both the Friday I want and the Friday I need. We've been over this before, but every other Friday is one of those woo-saw Fridays.
This is
I'm so looking forward to putting my house back together, shaving, and taking a shower with the light on. There's just all sorts of things I get to do when my kids aren't at home.
The man loves his children, but he does love his kids. He loves his his me time for a little bit. So good for your own mental health. I understand.
It's like crawling through a war zone, and then I finally get to a little spot for an oasis. I know I'm gonna have to crawl through another war zone next week, but let me take a second.
Well, you gotta re-equip,
right.
Regroup.
And I still have I have that trip on the horizon. And so that's basically my next week of woo-saw is let me just eat some ramen and save a couple of bucks to make it through so I can get to Vegas and enjoy myself for 3 days.
Nice.
While I suffer for the rest of the year. Boy, I'm pessimistic.
Well, you'll be recharged and ready to go again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend.
Happy Friday. Mm-hmm. Happy McDonald's Friday.
Yes.
Always got to thank the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday. Provide us with delicious breakfast treats. And we are very thankful for that. For all of you out there, you're probably thinking, you get up out of bed, you're like, kind of hungry, kind of need coffee going. Well, swing on by. Any of your McDonald's, they got you covered. What you could do is while you're in your, there at home, getting ready for your day, get your phone, download the app, say, I go for maybe today I'm feeling like biscuits and gravy. Or maybe today I want, what? I gotta get in shape. Maybe I'll eat some oatmeal this morning. But whatever it is, you can order it all through the app, and you can pick it up on your way to work, or if you got time, sit down and dine in, or shoot, I can believe they'll deliver it to you. So get it, whatever your proclivity is, utilize that app, start building your points. How's Baller Points up to now?
I've been app slacking.
Yeah.
Bad. I'm still only up to 642. I'm only giving it like 200 points. And that's because I haven't been able to use my app as of late.
Yeah, I haven't used it this week. So
because there's a slight issue with my card. So currently I'm not able to use really any of my apps until I get that squared away.
Yeah, I haven't used the app this week. With my wife being home from work for the summer, I tend to go home and just eat at the house.
Right.
And, it's less me time, so I'm not swinging through drive-through or anything, picking up lunch on the way home.
I'm surprised you haven't picked up the move of just like hanging out in your car. I'm single. I have a home that I can go to sometimes with no kids, but I just kind of like hanging out in my car sometimes.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
It's like my ultimate me space. And sure, gas is stupid right now, so it's limited my car time, but
You know what part of my issue is there? Is the linger. Like, if I eat lunch in there,
it's like you can get an air freshener.
I know, but still, like, it always like later that day I get in the car and it smells like fast food, which I'm great with when I want said food, but after lunch and it's been kind of lingering in the vehicle for a while, it's not the most pleasant of smells. So
sure.
So maybe it's some of that. I don't do it.
I can agree with you to an extent. There's also ventilation in the form of rolling down your windows.
I know that, but I've done all that.
You park next to a gigantic dumpster. You could throw the stuff away when you're done.
No, but it's just like I've done. I don't know. Even like when I've gotten to go, I like go and go home, and then I'll get back in the vehicle a couple hours later to go somewhere else, and it smells like
here's the
food
thing.
In there still.
The food that I eat, it doesn't matter if I consume it in the car or just get it to my home in my car. My car is still going to smell like said food for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you get like the full-blown, meatball sub with all the stuff that makes your coworkers hate you on top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those kinds of things. Yeah, that's going to smell like that regardless.
He's up there with like, lunch today. Got some liver and onions. Oh, and I got this cold fish I got to heat in the microwave real quick. Hold on.
Dude. And I mean this unironically, and I know this is a McDonald's Friday. Big thanks to McDonald's, by the way. I mean this unironically. I'm going to tomorrow get ready, get dressed, jump in my car, go to the sale barn, and have myself a nice order of liver and onions. I am genuinely looking forward to it. So excited about it.
You take my wife. She'll be happy.
Take my wife, please.
She loves liver and onions. So you take her with you. You all can have a liver and onions.
There you go. Well, I'm sending her home to you, buddy. She's just going to reek of liver and onions.
Well, stop by Allsup's to get her some breast strips or something.
There you go. At Thomas's house. He orders them by the case.
That's right. He does have like a big. I think he's got stock in Listerine.
Yeah,
I think you're right. Pay my dividends in breast strips, please. Oh, the minty blue.
Arctic blue, please. If you have your palate for biscuits and gravy, or say not like liver and onions, head for McDonald's.
Yeah,
3 locations right here in Roswell. 1 location Artesia, 1 in Carlsbad. Stop by and see them. Download the app, and they'll make your dreams come true.
And build up those points today on the app. There.
Be the anti-me.
Yeah, I did watch last night. I have thoughts. I don't have time to share them right now.
Do we have a full slate of guests?
Well, I got to replay this hour in the 9 o'clock. Sheriff Mike Harrington will join us next hour, so we'll chit chat with the sheriff. I believe Charles Eastless, undersheriff, will be with him as well, so we'll have a great conversation with him in the 8 o'clock hour.
Very good.
This hour, we're going to replay our interview with Elaine Mayfield talking Galacticon. So we'll play that here. And then, and like I said, we'll have Sheriff Mike Harrington in the 8 o'clock hour. And in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to play Sean interviewed Robert Sherman with Walker Aviation Museum on Tuesday. So I play that for you.
Very good.
In the 9:15 hour.
You had a good little talk. Dove into some history.
Yeah, he loves, we like talking just Air Force. Or
I learned something during this interview.
Yeah.
About the point of egress of the of Fat Man and Little Boy. Because it's always been thought that it took off from Roswell. Roswell was involved.
Yeah.
But it didn't actually take off from here.
No.
But we dive into that.
Yeah, very cool.
Spoiler alert.
But matter of fact, I remember the Historical Society. It was one of the heritage dinners. I don't recall which one off the top of my head. But they always have silent auctions and things. And one of the silent auction items was this cool photo of the Enola Gay at Roswell Army Airfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was a cool, beautifully framed picture. And I was emceeing that one. So I had my wife try to keep an eye on the bids because I kind of wanted it. But she's still sleeping. She bailed on me. I don't know.
Get all your trash talk out in the 7, dude.
I don't know if it was on purpose or accidentally. I lean on purpose.
Of course, I wonder though. Does she have like operatives? Does she have like early birdie operatives that report back?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. I mean, I don't know. She has an inner working system that maybe I'm not too privy to.
Let me tell you another thing I love about your wife. It's her taste in music. It's just, I mean, chef's kiss level. Just
well, I'm pretty think I'm safe right at the moment because she was sleeping pretty hard when I left the office or left the house to go to the office here this morning. So we'll see. If I get a text, no, nothing yet. I think we're safe. All right. I probably should get rolling here with the interview and all that. It is 7:14. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Wish I had better news for you, but I don't.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the heat will get turned up on us this weekend with high pressure parking over eastern New Mexico. Our highs this afternoon around 105, and we'll be getting sunshine, fairly light wind. For the overnight hours, clear, and our low cools off to about 70. We could hit 108 on Saturday afternoon, and we keep the sunshine, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Kim's awake. Oh, well, I didn't say anything too bad. I was just... all right. Currently 74 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36% with winds out of the south at 9 miles per hour. We do have a heat advisory today. That's going to kick in at 1 o'clock this afternoon, remaining in effect through 8 p.m. because it's going to be hotter than the blazes today. Sunny, high of 105 expected. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low of 72. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for your weekend, tomorrow, hold on to it. Sunny, high of 108 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 73. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, more hot, sunny, 106 for a high. South winds 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then Monday, next week, it's going to be warm too. 104 and sunny on Monday, 103 on Tuesday, 100 Wednesday. Thursday of next week, dipping below 100, 97. So, but yeah, it's going to be scorching for the next several days. So, with that heat advisor and all that too, just, stay indoors if you're heat sensitive and drink plenty of liquids and stay out of that direct sun as much as you can. So that's, be smart. All right. It is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview we had with Elaine Mayfield talking about Galacticon. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Your ride is broke, needs a fix? Come on down, we'll take care of it quick at Big O. Big O Tires. Whatever the problem, we'll ease your fears. We got experience, nearly 60 years at Big O. Big O Tires.
You can always count on your local Big O Tires to give you quality products and trustworthy service, all for a low price. From May 16th through June 19th, get up to $140 in rebate savings on BF Goodrich tires with installation purchase, or get up to $140 in rebate savings on Michelin tires from May 23rd through June 19th. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Not valid with other offers. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Void where prohibited. For further details on use and restrictions thereof, see BigOTires.com. See rebate form for terms and conditions. Additional retailer offer advertised within is independent from the manufacturer's offer.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back.
That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
This July, Roswell becomes Ground Zero.
I'm Clyde Lewis, and you're listening to Ground Zero.
The International UFO Museum and Research Center, in conjunction with Roswell's Talk FM, are bringing nationally syndicated radio show host Clyde Lewis to Roswell for the 2022 UFO Festival. Clyde will be broadcasting his show Ground Zero live from the International UFO Museum on Friday, July 1st from 8 to 11 p.m. Join Clyde as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The truth is out there.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
It's 18 minutes after 9 o'clock and joining 18 minutes after 9 o'clock and joining us in studio this morning, wearing her Galacticon hat this morning.
Right.
Not one of her other many hats. Elaine Mayfield back with us. Good
Yeah, it
morning.
fits pretty well. I've been doing it, since 2007.
I was say,
how are you doing this
you've
morning?
been doing it since the beginning.
Yeah,
of
2007,
Galacticon.
the city decided to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the crash, and this is the 75th anniversary.
And I believe you were one of the original founders of this.
Right, working for the city, and they pulled several of us in. And I ended up running the vendor hall.
Okay. And now time's evolved, and it's pretty much your baby now.
On the Galacticon.
As Galacticon goes, yes. Which will take place the same time as
yes,
UFO
we're
Festival.
excited to be back in having a vendor hall and having a normal con.
Yeah, and it's going to be back. It'll be back here in the Convention and Civic Center, kind of closer to the downtown festivities and everything.
Right,
That'll
and
be
the
happening.
center of the cities.
Yeah, and actually, exactly, because you guys will be taking over a good hunk of the place, but the UFO Museum's going to have some of their panel speakers. So the con's taken over a lot of the
we have half of the main hall.
center, but not all of it. It's going to be, so when you're done, going to the panel speakers and everything at the UFO Festival, march on over to the other side of the building and come participate and see all the cool stuff that's going to be at this year's Galacticon.
Right, and that's all the convention center, and then it kind of spreads downtown where Main Street will be doing their thing on the lawn of the courthouse again.
And then, of course, you guys partner with that for the costume contest and all that. So it's kind of a joint venture, some of those...
way it should be.
Yeah, and to be honest, these are kind of tent pole for the locals, especially for UFO, costume contest, best costume contest. These are like one of those are the things we as locals like to embrace and things.
Exactly.
And of course, Galacticon works because that's, especially with the costume contest. I mean, if we just do aliens, I mean, you got green, you got gray. What else you gonna, you know what I'm saying? And the greens, they say they're not the real. The gray ones are the right ones.
That's one reason we stepped up was to put a little bit of cosplay in it.
Yeah.
When cosplay is the costume part of a con, and there's all kinds. You have fantasy of gaming. People dress up as their game characters. Steampunk.
Yeah, that's a whole subculture in and of itself.
And there's many. So
sure. And which over the years, it's the Galacticon has kind of embraced a lot of the steampunk stuff because you get a lot of folks there. But by no means is it strictly a steampunk.
No, it's actually waned a little bit and waned nationally. But our group here, we had a very strong steampunk group when we first started Galacticon.
And you still got a good core
but
of that.
we actually call ourselves a sci-fi and fantasy con.
Yeah, it's broader than just steam. And to be honest, you can get in the steampunk world and be subgenred out of that. I mean, like steampunk's a very broad term too when you think about it.
It is at this point. And I like steampunk because it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still dress cool.
it's future and nostalgic at the same time.
Exactly.
That's the cool part. If you're for folks like, what are you talking about? The best name I can give you that sounds steampunk mostly is probably Jules Verne.
Absolutely, and I loved Jules Verne growing up.
Yeah,
I read everything.
If you love his stories, his science fiction,
I've heard it called Gothic and Brown.
It's a little, and one of the best comparisons I like to use too is if you ever watched From Earth to the Moon, it was an HBO excellent series with Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg.
Right.
And they talk about the Apollo missions and how all that came to be. But as kind of an adhesive to glue the stories together and to kind of, they also coincide with the filming of like the first Trip to the Moon movie. And it was based off of Jules Verne's story. And so it was a silent film. And so they're filming it. And so I just think of that when I see what they like their idea of going to the moon. It's very that steampunky, these rocket ships look iron and stuff.
Well, if you remember, the thing that movie was famous for is when the rocket hits the man in the moon's eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
But exactly, which was it made of cheese? I think.
Yeah, something like that. It was cheesy.
Yeah.
Cheesy. So.
But I love because that's in essence that was science fiction before we know science fiction. Jules Verne was that, when you look at anything we look at, really guys like Jules Verne begat all of that, that
right.
put us in
It's when the Victorian age was breaking into the industrial age, and that people were uncertain and unsure, and so you kind of could go several directions.
Yeah.
And another thing that the people, maybe more modern, would be Wild Wild West.
Would be, that was what, early 2000s, remember that Will Smith movie. That's very...
Well, based on a TV show a little earlier.
Yes, but that's very steampunk. Yeah. Like the bad guy in that makes like a big giant robot
right.
to attack the town or whatever, and it's all steam technology, and it's futuristic, but sounds like an assembly line from the 1900s, early 1900s, all the steam and all that. But that's steampunk. But when we were joking earlier about subcultures, because if you get in that world, then they're like, okay, well, I focus purely Civil War era steampunk, or I focus purely on 1920s era or whatever. Right. They kind of get into their subgenres, but that's part of it. But anything cosplay, so if you're into
like
Marvel,
I said, we're more sci-fi fantasy. Fantasy coming from the gaming.
Yeah, Marvel,
that kind
DC,
of thing. Superheroes,
Dungeons and Dragons, all of that kind of covers into the Galacticon.
Correct.
Fans and
it's fun.
Genres. Yeah. And that's just it. It's come and of course they're going to have, like you do, little workshops and things, as they always do, some panel speakers and things. But of course, come see all the vending booths. You're going to have book collectors, comic book
their authors are right there too to sign.
People that sell
artists.
And make costuming and all that kind of stuff. It really, if you love that kind of thing, it's a Shangri-La of all of that. It
Absolutely,
really is.
and the vendors are so eager because they haven't been able to do a lot for 2 years.
Yeah,
and they're eager to get down here and fill up that room and sell their wares. We've got comic books, obviously.
Yeah.
Comic Con is where it all started there.
Yeah, comic books is the original
and we
OG
have
of comic
three,
cons.
I think, comic book vendors. We have gems and crystals this year. Yeah, a lot of gems and crystals and jewelry and artwork. We have some unusual things. We've got a group that's selling programs for children, educational programs, and some of them are sci-fi. And
cool.
Yeah, really
so
cool.
if you're looking for like STEM-related
type,
stuff, you'll find that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's a local person. And,
Nice.
and
Love
awesome. And then we have, I'm trying to think, what are the other things we have? Gaming, of course.
Yeah.
Gaming is huge. And people sitting home and during the pandemic learned to play Dungeons & Dragons again.
Sure.
I remember that.
Yeah, the old school, get out the 20-sided die and the graph paper to make you maps and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming they still do it that way.
Yes, and so we're very heavy into tabletop gaming and there are some role
the card games like your Magic and the various games like that and all that too.
And we have, 5 or 6 game masters, and 2 of them are designers.
Oh, great.
A local person that's on my team is Matt Bromley.
Nice.
And got a couple others coming from around. And
so if you're looking to, like, if you're a young person that wants to maybe get in these industries of gaming or, designing either computers or tabletop.
Yeah, we have people to talk to. Absolutely.
There's definitely resources for all of that and things. So if you're looking or if you're just looking for fun, they got that covered there too. But I imagine there's a lot of young people that are saying, especially with technology and things, I want to be the next person that designs the next computer game or whatever it is that we're into. And they start at these levels.
That's right.
And
we have the
sucking in the lore.
Here, so
just absorbing the lore. And the other part is you get to talk with people that are interested in the same niche things you are. And what I mean by that is you've got uber fans of very sub-genres or classes of things. And if you're a fan of that too, you're finding people that, you know what I mean? So you go in there and you're thumbing through comic books or looking at the artwork and buy a couple things. But you're also having conversation with these vendors because guess what? There's a reason they're into this artwork. There is a reason they're into these comic books because they were probably kids under the bed reading the things and doing all the same things we all were doing.
Yeah.
And so you get that connection as well too. People that like this area of sci-fi just like you do. And
comic books aren't the only collectible.
Yeah.
There are people that collect characters from certain things, and there certainly are vendors that have that available. And then artwork. Our featured artist is Logan Pack, which is a local that does nationally artwork does covers for sci-fi books and things like that.
So actually makes a living and is a professional sci-fi artist.
He'll be our featured artist this year. So
I love that people have that ability to do that. You know what I mean? That there's
wonderful artwork.
That you can create something you're passionate about and actually support yourself with it.
And you're welcome to come in costume.
Absolutely.
We encourage it.
Come show off your talents and wares and come. That's what Comic-Con's about, is meeting friends, making connections with people that have some of the same interests you do, and just having a good time. And best part, it's all indoors because if anybody's ever been to Roswell, New Mexico, the first week of June, July, that's that summertime frame.
Absolutely.
It's hotter than Hades here. And so when you're wearing your 8 pounds of makeup and costuming and all that stuff to look like Predator, you're going to be cool in the air conditioning and not 10 pounds lighter when you're done with the day.
Exactly. Can I give you just a rundown of schedule?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about some events and schedule stuff.
Well, Galacticon is July 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Like everything else.
Just like UFO Fest, all the...
Absolutely, and Main Street. Absolutely. So, but Thursday night, we have a tradition of having a karaoke party.
Yeah.
And it's on Pepper's patio.
Yeah. You've been doing this for years.
Yes.
It's kind of, initially you had a steampunk vibe.
It did.
But it's kind of, like I said, evolved to just an overall Comic-Con
originally
vibe.
was a steampunk crawl.
Yeah. Now
it's evolved.
You might find a few people with some goofy goggles and some gears and things, but you might also find people that look like Sonic the Hedgehog or Dracula, for all we know.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So that will be at 7:00 at Pepper's in the patio.
Cool.
And we don't charge a fee. Of course, drinks and
We'd love
food
to have you
are on you.
To have a beverage.
And John Bittner will be doing the karaoke.
And they got great food there, by the way,
too.
So.
They do. And it's a lot of fun. Starts at 7.
Yeah.
So that's kind of always been our kickoff. We started that a long time ago. And then Friday, we start at noon, and the vendor hall is open.
Okay.
We also have a $10 fee to get in for adults, $5 for juniors and seniors, and children under 10 are free.
Okay.
And that one fee, though, will cover anything inside that building.
Gotcha.
And it also covers our film festival.
Oh, cool.
So our
you can go
sci-fi
see some
film
of the films.
festival will be at the Galaxy 8. They always give us one of the theaters. We love them.
They've been supporting for many years.
Since we started.
If you love to go see those movies, that's a great day to go and check them out.
It'd be Saturday and Sunday.
Please, while you're there, buy popcorn and sodas
Help
and all
them
that.
out.
Because Galaxy 8, they're donating their time, their space.
Absolutely.
And they're losing money by not putting whatever. What's the big movie out? Top Gun. That's another theater they could stick Top Gun in that they're not doing.
Yes, exactly.
So they're going to be showing these films all day. So please, when you come there, go buy their hot dogs and Cokes and popcorn and all that good stuff, because that's how you support Galaxy 8, and so they can continuing to do this.
Absolutely. We have wonderful sponsors, and we do appreciate them.
Yeah.
That'll be Friday. Friday night is the costume contest on the courthouse lawn, like we did last time. That was a lot of fun. I mean, you can sit in Pearson Auditorium with your hands in your lap like you're supposed to, but out there it was fun. People were hooting and hollering and silly and.
Yeah, it's kind of like you go to church, you walk into the church, and you're like, all right, I'm supposed to be quiet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's
There's just
the building dictates that.
Big difference.
Pearson Auditorium's a fun place, but let's face it, it does feel like you need to behave yourself when you're in there.
That's right. And that starts at 8:00 on Friday night, and that will be. We also have the Robotron, the big tall guys on stilts. They'll be walking around and everything.
Cool.
And 501st Troop. Stormtroopers will be here.
Great.
And we're going to have them, of course, at the Galacticon on probably for like 3 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday afternoon because it's hot.
It is. And I know
they'll
those
be here all
stormtrooper
weekend
gear
as well.
and the bounty hunter gear and all the stuff
Right.
they wear is very hot.
Yeah. Now, Saturday morning begins with our pet contest at 9 o'clock.
Very good.
Nice and cool with that.
Get that early.
Cooler.
Right.
Get that done
But
early.
we want to get the pets in and out
Right.
of the sun as
And
quick as
new
possible.
this year, the parade's going to be in the morning.
Yes,
so
that's new.
Shortly after we're finished, probably it will start. I believe they're going to gather over there at 9:30 and move out. And,
So
yeah.
if you come early for the pet costume contest,
you just turn around.
you got a good spot for the parade right
Exactly,
afterwards, basically.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I think it's going to work out real well.
perfect.
Yeah, and then Saturday in the afternoon we're having Comictopia, New Mexico.
Okay.
Comictopia has come to us a couple times before. 2018, I think, was the last time.
I'm not familiar. You have to fill me in on
It
that.
is a trivia game group out
Okay.
of Albuquerque, and they give prizes for the correct answers to trivia. They have a big screen,
Okay.
and this will be in
So
the...
is it kind of like bar trivia, but sci-fi
Yes,
stuff?
yeah,
Gotcha.
it's all
Like when you go to
sci-fi. Yeah.
B-dubs or something, and
Right.
they got the little games. that
Yeah,
got that.
you know,
Okay.
what's Superman's birthday, and somebody yells it out, and they throw him a comic book or a T-shirt or something
Cool.
like that. Yeah.
So you can come and show off and test your knowledge and win some prizes.
and that's going to be actually in the lobby, right in front of our door. Just kind of
Okay.
give something people to.
So you
to
can't
do
miss
while
it when
they're
you
at
walk in as you're
Exactly.
heading into
right,
the
and that'll be at
Galacticon.
1, 3, and 5 on Saturday.
Great. So
Yeah.
win some prizes.
Yeah, excited to have it down. Have fun with it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time. So brush up, and I imagine they cover all branches of sci-fi. So,
Yes.
So if you're a Star Wars, that
games
might
to-
help you a little
yeah,
bit, but
movies, yeah.
he might hit you with some Star Trek or some Alien
And
or
there'll
something.
be probably 30 people sitting out front, kind of like you said, kind of like a bar. Matter of fact, the first one I ever went to when I said, "Oh, we got to have you," was in a bar at Buffalo Thunder.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of always that fun little thing. So
Yeah.
great. So you can get to do that
Yeah.
and test your knowledge, and then of course come and purchase the collectibles and things from these artists and vendors.
Right.
And they do amazing. You're going to see some cool stuff. Every year I walk through Galacticon, you're just like, man, the creativity and
Absolutely.
the artistic value of just what these people are bringing to us is really cool. And not even if you're not per se a sci-fi person, you're gonna go like just the artwork and stuff.
Oh,
Some of the
gems, crystals, jewelry. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things that are but aren't sci-fi related to,
Mhm.
and just beautiful decor
Right.
to that, and just come meet that stuff. And maybe this is a parent-child passing of the baton moment where mom or dad's a collector of whatever Funko Pops or comic books or whatever it is,
Yes.
and they're to instill some of that excitement in their own children. Maybe bring the kids along and say, like, look, mom or dad, look, I've collected these since I was your age, and now, maybe we'll get your first
There you
comic book
go.
or Funko Pop
Absolutely.
or collectible here at this thing, and then we'll put it in your room, and then next year we'll start another piece, and give your kids the bug that you've been into for many years.
And it's certainly a great place for families to come up together and enjoy together.
Yeah.
It's there'll be something
just
for
a
everyone.
family-friendly fun.
We try very hard to make everything family friendly.
Come out, and then so when you're out enjoying all the UFO festival stuff, you get hot and tired. Come on in, spend a couple hours. They're going, all weekend. They're going to be in there. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do. Like you said, if you want to get into some of the time-specific things, we'll get you the website to go online here. But like the movie schedule out at Galaxy 8 for the sci-fi theater, all that. That way, if you're like, ooh, I want to see movie X, I need to be here at this time. And those movies are all, it's kind of like just like a Sundance or any other film festival. These are cool movies by some local artists, some out of town, some international, and they're sending their films to like Sundance and all these larger festivals. They're sending us, so you're getting a chance to see up and coming.
Yeah, and we do have a lot of shorts.
Yeah.
So people don't realize that they may have a 10-minute or a 6-minute little short. We've had music videos. We've had commercials submitted before.
So you get the whole gamut of that. So if you've never been to a film festival, it's really cool. So come out to Galaxy 8 as
and
part
you
of the
just
weekend
sit there as long as you want.
Yeah.
And what we did the last time.
And your $10 that you paid at the Galacticon gets
Covers
you into
it
all
all.
those movies.
That's right,
That's
all
why
of
we're
them.
telling you to buy soda and
And
popcorn.
we'll talk about 20 to 30 of the selected movies. They'll pick the top 20 to 30, and we'll show them all on Saturday and then all again on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if you miss one for some reason, you can go back Sunday and get it done.
And it's the cool part, because I've actually had it where you've seen a movie or something like this at a film festival, and next you know, like a year or two later, it's on everybody's. It blew up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you get that chance where you might watch. Very often, you probably see a movie or see something at the film festival, and then a year or two from now, it'll be on Netflix or on Prime or something because it got an audience and got picked up. And next thing you know, you saw it way before anyone knew about it. Now you're the one on the end. It's like, oh yeah, I watched that 2 years ago, and they're like, it just came out. No, I saw it 2 years ago.
One of the funniest things that happened to me once at the zoo, we had the summer programs and stuff, and we had the thing at the park, the party on the Pecos, we called it at that time. And we had contacted, good old Joe Vargas had contacted Los Lonely Boys. Nobody ever heard of them.
Yeah.
Nobody ever heard
Who
of
them
them.
guys?
Yeah. And so they played that night, and like the week before they were happened to be on Johnny Carson or something. And we just packed that whole place. It was amazing.
That was perfect
But there you
timing,
go.
yeah.
Perfect timing, and it really did help.
So, you might see the next Steven Spielberg in that film, you don't know. But that's the cool. And so if you love sci-fi and stuff, you really get into the genre by coming out and checking out the films and the different submissions for the film festival.
And that's kind of the difference there between costume and cosplay. Cosplay, you develop a character that you stay in.
Sure.
So they may come in on Friday and be adventurer Joe Blow.
Yeah.
And stay in that costuming and that whole mindset for the whole weekend, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. Whereas costumes, you put the costume on, you do the costume contest, and then you're back to normal.
Yeah.
So
it gets a chance to get out of your space and be something else for a little bit and have fun. And why do you think half of actors are actors? I think it's for their own. They get to be someone else for a little bit, and someone found a way to pay them to do it. So
right, exactly.
That's what it's about. So
another fun thing that we're doing, we're bringing in a guy from Las Cruces that does a tabletop escape room.
Really?
It's kind of a puzzle thing.
Okay.
It's called Clue to You.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we want to try that out. Now I think there's a small fee for that. And
sounds like fun if you maybe if you want to dip a toe in escape rooms, but you're not sure if you want to do the full thing. This might be
we tried to find somebody to do escape rooms, but they're few and far between.
Well, it's a whole. I mean, because I'm sure it's hours and months of planning and execution. Because once you get the idea of how you want to make the clue, then
and
you got
to be good.
Yeah, you got to make it legit. If you're trying to, especially if it's which usually most of them are themed in some way, shape, or form, whether it's like a World War II spy theme or a haunted theme or something different or an alien theme.
You're right. I don't think anybody had an alien theme one, but we did try. So maybe we'll keep trying.
Well, if anybody's listening for next future years, if you want to get involved in Galacticon, she's looking for a good escape room for future Galacticon.
Yeah, and last time we had a virtual reality guy that we'd like to get back to that too. But this is kind of getting back into it. We haven't had one there since 2019.
Yeah,
we've had a couple. We had one with the Main Street, but we really did our own gaming thing is what we concentrated on both times because it's very big locally as well.
Yeah, there's a big enough local following.
We're kind of getting back to it.
And hopefully we're going to get more out of town folks and things like we usually get for UFO Festival.
75th anniversary of the Roswell incident.
I got a feeling we're going to see a lot more New Mexicans this year, just because I think the way the cost of living and everything. I got a feeling
cost of gas.
I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of East Texans and northern New Mexicans making a trip down to Roswell this year.
I agree. So. And the state
or West Texas, I think.
The tourism department of the state has really been helpful to the to Roswell in promoting.
Good.
Yeah, been very supportive.
Yeah. So, folks, mark it on your calendars while you're out and about celebrating UFO Festival and having fun. Don't forget, there's a whole other world awaiting you there in the convention center for Galacticon.
Under air conditioning.
And a whole air-conditioned world awaits you at Galacticon. So please make plans to carve out part of your UFO weekend to spend some time with Galacticon. Come on out Thursday night. Come out to the karaoke at Peppers. And come check out come participate karaoke and meet some of the players and have a delicious meal and sing a song or two and then come out and see them beginning noon Saturday out at their booths and things and just start talking to them. And
absolutely.
Who knows?
If
you're looking, especially if you're a person that wants to get more involved in these things, you've literally got the who's who of who does this in one location. So you get to talk to them and get their experiences. And because I know once you get the bug bit, good luck to your free time. Good luck to your extra money, because you're going to put all your passions into that, which is fun and awesome. Great. But, if you want to learn that and do all that, because, let's face it, the world we live in, mental health and everything's so important to take care of yourself. And when you got to have your own hobby or thing that's just for you. I don't care if it's reading or swimming or whatever your thing is. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's creating costumes and creating that. So maybe it's coming out and playing some games, meeting some new people and starting playing.
Especially for the children.
Yeah.
They need to have something that's fun that the parents can support.
Absolutely.
And participate in many ways.
So come on out. Maybe you'll find your next new passion at Galacticon. You never know.
I love it.
Yeah, of course, guys like we had John LeMay on yesterday. Of course,
he'll be there.
He'll be there with his new book and many other authors like him with their books and things. It really is a lot of fun. Just come make time to be a part of Galacticon. Let me ask you this. If someone's just finding out and they're like, dude, I need to get a booth, is that still possible?
I actually have a few left because we're in the big hall and we got a lot more room than we've had in the past.
Okay.
And so, yes, I do have. They can get a hold of me. Yeah.
Okay. You can email her,
Condor@dfn.com.
I remember that one. It's easy
It's a good one. Big bird.
Yeah. Condor@dfn.com. I don't have your phone number handy. I don't think I'll let you give that out.
575-626-2640.
Yeah, sign up to be for a booth here. And of course, I think.
Of course, you send an email, I can send you an application.
Exactly.
So that's probably the best way.
What's the web address for this year for the Galacticon?
RoswellGalacticon.com.
So you can go there and the schedule events, everything we just talked about.
Vendor apps are on there.
Yeah,
too.
if we gave a lot of information in a short period of time, so it's a lot to take in. So now when you got a chance on your lunch hour or when you're on the bathroom for your own time and you're getting on your phone, you can go to the RoswellGalacticon.com. Go to that website, see the schedule events, get tickets, get vendor forms, all the stuff you need to get to learn about Galacticon. You'll find at the website there.
That's right.
And then of course, if nothing else, just walk on into the doors during July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and poke around and see what's going on. And who knows, you might turn out you find your next big thing there.
That's right.
It is fun. Yeah, hopefully for folks who've been in the past to either out at the mall or back at the convention center, whatever times you've been out, those are always just fun, amazing things. You meet some great people. Guys like Clyde Lewis hang out and something like that, and I'm sure we'll see him. He's going to be around in the town.
He'll be back this year, I believe.
So I think he's going to be hanging out at Galacticon over the weekend some too. I know he's doing a show Friday night at the UFO Museum. I think we're working on a location for him Thursday night to do his show. And then I think the rest of the weekend he's going to be doing some
we had him at the
stuff
mall when he was here before they scheduled an afternoon. So, yeah.
And so he's an interesting guy.
RDR's doing theirs at the convention center as well.
Good. So their whole what do they call it? The experiment, or what do they call it? The experience, or they've got a well, I can't remember off the top of my head, but they got a whole. It's
right
because obviously one of the most famous images from the alien crashing is the next day the paper, the UFO paper. I mean the Daily Record. That's probably the most famous photo of everything related to the Roswell incident. Is that newspaper photo of the Daily Record with the picture? And
I think the other half of the hall is going to be kind of a children's fun zone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So they probably have various children's games and
that type of thing, right?
Probably collectibles for kids.
And again, hot days outside, let the kids come in and play in the cool air.
Yes, come in.
And of course, we're secure overnight, which is appealing to a lot of vendors, jewelers and stuff that know that it's going to be locked up at night.
Yeah, it's a building with entrances and everything. So please mark it on your calendars, July 1, 2, 3, at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Right.
All in conjunction with UFO Festival. And of course, go to the UFO Festival website, see their schedule events.
Right.
Look at that way you can plan accordingly. Okay, at 2:00 we need to be here for this at Galacticon. 3:00 we need to be here for UFO Festival. So you can, if you're one of those folks that love to plan out your day to the minute, you hit the two websites, you can get your whole itinerary set up for the UFO Festival.
And the Daily Record does publish a wonderful supplement by Chris Stock. I've got to give her credit.
They usually do it like the week of or something.
He's already putting in 12-hour days, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Putting that together. But that's always a great supplement to the newspaper, especially for locals and stuff. So.
And just remember, folks, don't forget.
It's a group effort.
We are the ambassadors for this. The locals. So we're going to have a lot of out-of-town family, friends, strangers, people coming from all over the world, not just United States. You see Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see a few Austrians or Germans or someone from Europe or Asia, someone here that's making Roswell their first visit. Don't be nice. Be the ambassadors. Show them the places you like to eat.
You don't have to believe to count money.
Exactly, because let's face it, the more money that these events bring in, the better our grocery receipts look, and the more money our city council and everything
lodgers
can do.
The hotels have suffered so much. The restaurants have suffered.
Yeah, we this is kind of a Black Friday-esque type event for Roswell. It really is. We need to get back to those
Christmas
numbers
in July.
Yeah, exactly. It really is that type thing. So please support it, and come on out and visit. But if you're one of those people that goes recluse that weekend, I understand. But be an ambassador. Be that person. If you're out in town shopping, eating at your restaurants, and people, hey, where's a good place to eat, or where's a good place to buy this? Tell them your favorite places. Be an ambassador. Encourage them to shop local and visit our mom and pop stores. Of course, the downtown merchants, this is their Black Friday UFO festival.
Absolutely.
They get most of their foot traffic and everything. For those people that are going up and down the street during UFO, more than any other time of the year, that's where they make their nut, is UFO Festival weekend. So please support that and encourage others to support that too. Because not only, UFO Festival, these are going to be fun things that are going to sell themselves. But if people are looking to do other things, people are looking to see what our town has to offer, be that ambassador. When they're saying, hey, what other stuff is there beside Green Men things? Go say, check out the Anderson Museum. Check out the Historical Society. Check out the Roswell Museum and Art Center. Check out the zoo.
Lakes.
Check out Bottomless Lakes. Check out these areas. Hey, you're looking for something to do Sunday afternoon, go out here. Be that ambassador and the next thing you know, they're like, man, I came here and learned about aliens. Turned out and next thing you know, maybe next couple of years they're going to be passing through and want to come through and be a part of our community. We had a great time in Roswell. Let's swing on by there, get something to eat, maybe go to the zoo or something, and head on to our next place or whatever.
And the UFO Museum has done a lot of work this year on new exhibits that are more digital and interactive. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, they really are adding and expanding and stepping up their game. So if you haven't been in a while, we'll use that weekend to come in and check it out.
If you get visiting friends and then relatives, take them again.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the morning show out there. I know that Friday morning for sure.
They always have that breakfast there.
Yeah, and I think maybe Thursday, but I know definitely for sure Friday we're going to be out there. So
there's something going on all over town, and from the UFO Museum, the Main Street Roswell, the city, Galacticon, the RDR. I mean, that's a lot right there.
And there is.
And so there's a lot of activities going on.
So and then don't forget, if you are a steampunker or a comic book collector or an artist that wants to get a booth or space at the Galacticon,
we do have a few left. I've got some room
to reach out to Elaine probably this week. I wouldn't wait too much longer, and we'll squeeze you in there. And like Elaine said, it's either that or find a place to set up a booth not in air conditioning.
Right.
I'll tell you, you could probably charge a gold mine just because of that air conditioning alone.
Just advertise AC available.
Good deal. Elaine, is there anything we missed? Anything we wanted to share? Anything we just skipped over?
No, we might mention, since we did this backwards last week, please support the Leadership Roswell Alumni Association's Awards Banquet for community leaders. You need to RSVP by this weekend.
Send another email to condor@dfn.com and RSVP. You can get a table of 8 for, is it 200 or 500?
225.
225. I don't have the numbers.
30
and
single.
$30 per person.
And you have now seen and heard from these people with interviews and the newspaper covering all of them.
Yeah,
you say, I know them so well, But,
we had one on this morning, matter of fact.
Yes.
Margaret was on her earlier.
Right.
She's our Leadership Roswell Alumni Award winner.
Correct. And just a thought to please try to get a reservation in this week. So, and the only reason is we have to give a count to the caterers.
And the event is June 23rd, and it's going to be at NMMI in the VMV Hall there. They're going to be providing a delicious meal for everyone. And we've got our really 5 honorees this year that we were going to be honoring. And we'd love to have everyone come out and support these folks and show them how much we
want to fill the room.
We want to fill the room.
Yeah.
We want a night of just showering these folks with love. And
absolutely.
And by the way, we're going to try to get hopefully some of our last couple year award winners that didn't get a dinner
They
party.
didn't get fed, no.
Yeah, we recognized as best we could, but food did not allow us to do that during the COVID years. So
That's right.
Hopefully most, if not all of them, come out. We can shower them with some love, too. while we're
Absolutely.
there. Again, reach out to Elaine Condor at dfn.com. Even if you talk to Amy over at the Historical Side, she'll put you in touch with that,
Right.
too.
She's taking lists.
Reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with Elaine and all that. And love to have you come out and honor. And, of course...
Yeah, we just need a count. You pay at the door.
Yeah, you can pay that Tuesday. It's a Tuesday or Thursday. I can't remember which. Is it
Thursday.
Thursday, sorry. Whatever the 23rd is.
23rd.
Yeah, whatever the 23rd is. I was thinking, I was like, Thursday or Tuesday now.
My brain is full.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's over. It's leaking out my ears.
Yeah.
But we'd love to come out, support this.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you want to learn more about what Leadership Roswell is and does, because they're going to be signed up for the next class here next month. And that's a great event to come out and talk to a lot of alumni and a lot of people that know about the program. So if you're kind of like, I want to sign up, but I'm not really sure all that's involved, come out to the banquet, meet some of our honorees, and then talk to other people about Leadership Roswell, what they took from it, what they gained from it. And I guarantee once you go to that, you're going to be going to the chamber website, downloading the application, and getting it filled out and turned
I've
in.
never talked to anyone that didn't like it, wasn't totally thrilled with it.
It's a great program, and I even say, regardless of how long Roswell's been your home, you're going to learn something about Roswell
Absolutely.
from it. So, very good. But don't forget, Galacticon, July 1, 2, 3, at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center during UFO Festival. If you want to get a booth or a space inside, reach out at Condor at dfn.com. Reach out to Elaine this week.
Yes.
But go to RoswellGalacticon.com.
Right.
There you can see the full schedule of events, what the costs for, if anything that's going on, what the movie schedule is for the film festival, all of that stuff. Is there T-dueling this year, or is that kind of taking a back seat?
It kind of took a back seat,
Okay.
but I am talking with them
there
about
might
doing
be-
a full steampunk corner.
Okay, so maybe just bust out an impromptu T-dueling
There we
session.
go.
Maybe it starts like a gauntlet's been thrown.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I see you're eating.
Yeah.
How long? And then the gauntlet comes out, and next thing you know, there's
T-dueling
a throwdown.
was fun.
A throwdown T-duel right there. Which,
Right.
Which, if you don't know what it is, go ask them. Learn it. I've explained it 100 times here, but I'm going to make you find out yourself now at Galactica.
I'll work on that.
There you go. Well, thank you as always,
Thank you.
Elaine. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Okay?
All right.
All right.
North Garden Avenue will be closed to traffic from East 2nd Street to Cherry Street in Roswell beginning June 13th through 17th as pavement work is taking place. Signs will be directing drivers to detour routes, including access to local residences. Nearby businesses along Garden Avenue will be able to be accessed by reaching Garden from East College Boulevard. A Carlsbad High School junior has been named the Gatorade New Mexico Softball Player of the Year. The honor goes to Faith Aragon, who helped lead her team to a 30-1 record and a state championship title this year. Aragon is arguably one of the best combined hitters and pitchers in the state. She went 16-1 on the mound with a 1.91 ERA. And coronavirus cases on the rise again in New Mexico, but there is good news. Top state health officials said Wednesday that a return to mask mandates and other widespread public health restrictions were unlikely because infections were becoming more mild. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
In the ongoing high-stakes drama starring Elon Musk versus Twitter, the stare-down is over. Twitter blinked, and now perhaps we'll all get to see Twitter's long-hidden and most guarded secret. How many Twitter users are real and how many are phony? I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by ExpressVPN. Secure your online data and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's been Musk's question all along. How many tweets are sent by bots? How many messages are spam? Twitter long claimed that the number was fewer than 5%, but Twitter refused to provide proof, and that rightfully caused further suspicion that the company withheld the data out of concern for what Musk and the public will uncover. Twitter seems not to be confident in its own public spam estimates. Forcing Twitter to finally release all their user data is a major Musk victory, and it just may be quite eye-opening for you and for me. I post breaking tech news 24/7 at my website. That's commando.com. Some things are inevitable, like allergy season. But while you can't avoid it, you can at least save on your prescription allergy medications by checking GoodRx. With GoodRx, You can compare prescription prices at over 70,000 pharmacies to help you find the best price. And you can find discounts of up to 80%. GoodRx is recommended by doctors, pharmacists, and millions of people across the country who have saved on their prescriptions. Speaking of millions of people, over 24 million used GoodRx just last year to save on their medications. You can too, whether that's on your allergy meds or other prescriptions. And remember, even if you have insurance, could actually beat your prescription copay price. For simple, smart savings on your prescriptions, check GoodRx. Go to goodrx.com/Kim. That's goodrx.com/Kim, goodrx.com/Kim.
GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, Medicare and Medicaid. In 2021, GoodRx users saved 81% on retail prescription prices.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the heat will get turned up on us this weekend with high pressure parking over eastern New Mexico. Our highs this afternoon around 105, and we'll be getting sunshine, fairly light wind. For the overnight hours, clear, and our low cools off to about 70. We could hit 108 on Saturday afternoon, and we keep the sunshine, 100 to 105 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
You know what happens in the spring. It's cleanup time. And AC&B, HF Sinclair, Navajo Refining, and the Boy Scouts are at it again to help clean up our community. The Scouts will come to your house and haul off items that you need to dispose of and have no way of hauling. The date for pickup, June 11. Just call 575-513-0143 and let me know when, where, and what. Take advantage of this free service and let's make Artesia clean and beautiful.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
The fires of inflation burned with white-hot intensity last month, consuming the earnings and spending power of Americans. The closely watched Consumer Price Index rocketing 8.6% higher year over year in May. A sharper rise than many economists were expecting. It was fueled by soaring energy, food, and shelter costs. There's a new record high for gasoline. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular just under $4.99. That's a bit less than the average reported by Gas Buddy, which says gas hit $5. The soaring pump prices forcing many of us to cut spending on other things.
Well, you got to think about gas now. You got to decide, is it really worth it to go out there and not to spend the extra money? Like if you want to go to the club or go to the bar or something, you got to spend money just to have fun, but then on that gas as well. So, you got to think about that's another factor.
The view of a driver in Oakland, California. They're blaming it on Trump. The Democrat-controlled House panel has been holding hearings on the U.S. Capitol riot, staged a made-for-TV event last evening. Committee Chair Democrat Benny Thompson accusing Mr. Trump of jeopardizing democracy, but Republicans like Jim Banks say that Americans are not buying it.
They're tired of the theatrics. They want their congressmen and women to focus on the issues that matter most to them, but instead this is what we're left up to. It's a shame, and I believe that it will backfire big time on these Democrats as we near the election to come. 3
people are dead, while a Maryland state trooper, a suspect, and another person were wounded. There's nothing yet on a possible motive. Yesterday's shooting at a manufacturing business in western Maryland near Hagerstown. Sell-off underway on Wall Street following release of the inflation report. The Dow down 681 points. That's a loss of over 2%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody, Mark Davis for Advantage Gold. Investing and protecting your retirement is a real challenge these days. Raging inflation, the hyper-volatile stock market. You don't have to sit and watch it all unfold. Thousands of retirees are safeguarding their retirements with physical precious metals like gold and silver inside their IRAs and 401ks. One company I trust for this, Advantage Gold, the #1 highest rated gold company on TrustLink 7 years in a row. For a free gold IRA investment kit, call Advantage Gold. 800-741-4653. Call 800-741-GOLD. Don't sit idly by while the stock market and inflation destroy your retirement savings. For a free gold IRA investment kit, call 800-741-4653. They'll answer all your questions, including if your current retirement account qualifies. Call 800-741-4653. Find out how easy it is to put precious metals in your IRA or 401k. Call 800-741-GOLD.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult your investment professional before investing.
Meeting with her Ukrainian counterpart, Britain's Foreign Secretary Liz Truss planning to raise the case of two Brits sentenced to death by a Russian proxy court in Ukraine, the two accused of mercenary activities.
Russian state media say Aidan Aslin and Sean Pinner have a month to appeal against their death sentences. Both Britons had served in Ukraine's armed forces for several years, but that didn't stop them being convicted for being mercenaries. The Foreign Secretary will raise their case today when she speaks to her Ukrainian counterpart, Dmytro Kuleba. The Foreign Office says both men are prisoners of war and should not be prosecuted for taking part in the fighting. Irina Venediktova, Ukraine's Prosecutor General, told the BBC the sentencing was phony. It was, she said, a violation and mockery of international law.
The BBC's James Landale. Japan partially opening its borders to foreign tourists. It has started accepting visa applications once again as well. Townhall.com. The cost of borrowing for a home rebounds ahead of a key Federal Reserve meeting next week.
The Fed expected to announce another increase to its main borrowing rate. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac reports the 30-year rate jumped to 5.23% this week from 5.09% last week. The jump in rates, along with a sharp increase in home prices, has been pushing potential home buyers out of the market. Mortgage applications decreased 6.5% from 1 week earlier, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. John Scott reporting.
Robb Elementary School will never reopen. The decision of school officials in Uvalde, Texas. School scene of a massacre that left 19 youngsters and 2 teachers dead. While releasing no more information about the investigation, the Uvalde school superintendent says the district will be hiring more police officers in the aftermath of the horrific events the afternoon of May 24th. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes.
We made it to it.
Welcome to it.
Congratulations.
Feels good, don't it?
It's a Friday we need. Yeah. Like, I got a couple minutes, so I'll touch on yesterday. So I did watch the 3-hour hearings deal on
the primetime coverage of the. I intentionally avoided it.
Yeah. Had I not be where I am at in radio,
no, I understand.
I was like, I probably wouldn't want to watch it either. But
that's the reason I did avoid it, is because of my position in radio. Because I know I'm going to hear about it all day today.
Yeah. Just my initial thoughts. Does it look like a witch hunt for Trump? And yeah, absolutely. it's one of these mixed bags because some of the things last night were powerful. I mean, the video, the testimony of the Capitol Police officer, the testimony, or not the testimony, the video footage from the British documentarian that was following the Proud Boys during the riots.
Which bold move, having a documentary crew following along during your
it's
insurrection.
Apparently, and I'm not even sure if I think he just kind of met him there. I don't think he was the way it explained it was kind of like he's a British filmmaker doing a documentary on why Americans, what was the quote, don't get along despite they have more in common than not in common, or something like that. He was in D.C. and he's following the Proud Boys, and so he's right there. And the one thing I am very certain about at the end of this, these Oath Keeper and Proud Boy people, they're in a rope long enough to hang these SOBs. As far as I'm concerned, they can all burn in Hades. As far as I'm concerned, those people are savages. As far as connecting it to Trump and all that, I mean, that's where it feels like it's the witch hunt grabbing straws type, because I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, he said things. Sure, they were incendiary. People were mad, but at the same time, can you be responsible also for people doing irrational things based on what you said?
You shouldn't be held responsible for other people's actions based on what you said, but I feel like there is a level of requirement of what you say, knowing who you're saying it to, and knowing that something that you say could be, incendiary. Well, I feel that there's a requirement on you as a person to rein that in a bit.
Okay, and I may even, I agree with that. But the part that makes me oogie about all of this, okay, first off, this whole thing we're watching, there's no impact whatsoever legally that comes from it.
Right.
There's no one's going to jail. No one's gonna, there's no legal ramifications from what's coming from this stuff
yet.
It's according to what they're saying, there's no legal muscle to this because this isn't a fair trial, is what it is.
No, but I feel like you're bringing a lot more to light that could come up later.
Absolutely. They're of course how they're spinning it is for posterity, which sure, I can make that argument. However, when you tell me that, and then you create a committee that's got nothing but anti-Trump people on it, and then tell me that's fair and balanced, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. And that's kind of what's going on right there. And
Judge Judy.
And so no matter how factual or accurate the information you're presenting me is given, you've tainted it by doing that.
Yeah, there's spinning bias there.
You already made half the population discredit it, no matter what you say or do. And so to me, this is just a political
But at the
stunt.
same time, the other side wasn't exactly jumping on doing anything about it. The argument can be made that the reason this is so
I don't think that's
left-leaning is because they're the ones that are actually putting it.
I don't think
spotlight
that's
on
true. The other side wants to investigate it. But you've got one side that's saying it's all Trump's fault. The other group is saying no, it's not all Trump's fault. And so that's where we're lying at here. Now, if I'm a Republican, looking at the big scheme of things, there's no way I'm going to push for Trump as my candidate because I don't know. I guess
the whole of the blame doesn't necessarily lie on either side. In my opinion, I think everybody is a little bit has a little bit
of
a dirty thumb in this. Yeah, exactly.
It lays on neither side. It lays squarely on both sides.
I agree with 100%.
The way these two parties have handled their business, and the way the media placates to these two parties, that's whose fault it is,
right?
And none other. The way they handle themselves, and to me, this was the criminals investigating their own. It just, you know what I mean? I can't trust. When you turn it into a 6-part Hollywood documentary series, that feels like propaganda to me, and that's where I don't like the way it's being presented. The video stuff, very powerful. Was there some badness that went on? Absolutely. Why do you talk? I'm trying to do a show. feel the need to talk to me while I'm on the air.
Mostly with eye contact. That's the worst part. That's why you just gotta like maintain eye contact with the board, the screen, nothing else.
I can't hear what he says. I got headphones on. So
all I heard was insurrection. So I'm sure it had something to do with that.
All I'm saying is that's my issue with last night. I don't. It looks and feels like some kind of witch hunt at a very odd time politically, and timing's everything in all this. And
what I am really looking forward to, though, at the end of all this, because they're going to go through, it's going to be very documentary style. It's going to be very like well produced, slick, stylized.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end, I'm really looking forward to the dancers coming out and Mel Brooks leading the insurrection. Let's begin the insurrection. What do you think? I'm really looking forward to the musical numbers spun by Mel Brooks at the end of this. It's going to be big.
I would.
It's going to be big.
He'll do it proper.
I think so.
Right? That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
But so just my opinion. That's and so I look at it as the way you're doing it, you're cheapening the sadness of what actually happened that day, and that's part of what. Yeah, you're on. Okay. And so that's just my thoughts on it. Now, granted, we got 5 more of these.
Yeah,
I think. So we'll see what they present next.
Is another one tonight or?
No, they're doing it like each week. So
Okay.
this is going over for the next 6 weeks or something. Yeah.
They're doing this like a series.
I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's going to be every Thursday night, probably for the next 6 weeks. They're probably going to be doing this. Is my guess. I don't
I'm
know
waiting for
sure.
the on the next.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
My view on it, I really liked what they presented. I mean, the footage was very powerful, listening to the testimonies. They were presenting facts by facts. But there's 2 sides to a pancake.
Sure.
And I would love to hear the other side and how they spin it.
And that's why this
You
isn't
know?
a trial.
I
That's
know.
because there's no,
I have to keep in mind, only one side is presenting this.
exactly. And that's what you got to remember.
It's strong. It's very strong. But I also know that the other side's going to have facts and opinions, and it's going to be strong too in its case.
And I'll be honest, I watched the footage was very powerful, but like some of the interviews they had with Jared Kushner and Ivanka, and they made a comment in there. That stuff to me was not even necessary in there. To me, that was that stuff was just like one person's like, someone complained about this, you're gonna and Kushner basically, well, they complain all the time. I just kind of.
They kind of take things out of context with that in a way. They spin it.
Okay, from a normal world, you hear a red bell and you think, okay, but this is the White House. It's
Right.
different. It's a different. To me, that was not necessary to the. All that is doing is stating a case that Donald Trump was responsible for it, and I'm like,
yeah,
solely no. I
Just
mean,
because
did he
A
say and
and-
do things
Just because A and B are true does not mean that C through Z is true. It's you can't lead me down that path based on a couple of facts.
Yeah. But do me personally, do I think there's things Trump should have done that day they didn't do? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he handled it well? No, I don't.
Right.
Do I think he's responsible for it? No, I don't.
No.
So that's my opinion. But anyway, we'll move on here. I don't want to spend another hour talking about that because you're going to hear it all day long and you're going to hear nothing about it and all that. So.
Mike's childhood best friend was a Capitol
Oh, they showed it.
policeman,
They
and
showed
they
that.
showed that footage.
Yeah, footage was in
couple
there last
times.
night.
Vic was shown.
Just
I
sitting there
wonder
and-
what his opinion would be actually being there in person. I would love to have him as a guest and listen to him to give his events and how things.
I would be interested to hear. Yeah, you know what? You know the guy. Maybe we can get a exclusive interview.
I don't know. He's a Capitol police officer.
I'm
and
not
there's
saying he needs to
things
come
allowed
on.
to say and allowed he
Sure.
can't say.
Maybe he
I
comes
don't
on and
wanna
we
put him in-
talk about his model car hobby or something. It would just be interesting to have the guy on.
I would leave that ball in his court. I do
Sure.
not want. But yeah.
But the invite is open.
Probably doesn't even know he has an invite.
That's what I'm saying. Let the guy know.
To put it in his court, Mike.
But here's one thing. Here's one thing I really do take comfort in, and I know that it's crazy right now. I mean, with the hearings happening, everybody's at each other's throats. Gas prices are absolutely insane. Take a little comfort knowing that McDonald's is still there.
There you go. The only reason I talk to you about what I know how working for the government is, and especially military style
Right.
things. One thing they don't like their employees doing is getting on public forums and sharing their opinion. That's
Right.
why I'm saying it's probably no chance that's going to happen.
And he might not want to relive that. He might not.
You're
want to
absolutely
talk
correct.
about
He may
it.
not want to, but what I'm saying is, as currently an active employee with them, there's no way in Hades he's
What if we
coming
call him
on
like
this
John Johnson and we give him one of these voices?
Well, see, we just had a discussion on my buddy that was there, and then a week later, I happened to have a guy on, and
They don't have to know that.
Yeah, in the Witness Protection Program, boys.
We could just do it in another hour.
Doesn't take Inspector Clouseau to figure this one out.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get me a hotcakes and sausage.
That day that it happened, we didn't know he was actually in there.
Right.
That he was involved. And then
Well, I
that
saw him
evening,
that day, when they were showing the footage.
That
like,
night,
looks like Vic.
when the news was showing footage, Mike was like, "Hey, that looks like." I'm not
Actuality,
saying the name, but
that's not true. I when we were watching it at lunchtime,
Oh, you
I saw-
recognized at that point.
I
I
saw
thought
it-
it was
well,
evening news.
I didn't say nothing because I saw it, and I saw a redheaded dude sitting there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like Vic, and I kept it to myself till I saw the photo
Okay, or
later.
we could just not redact the name.
And then, well,
yeah.
Kim was all redacting the name. You could just not. That's fine.
yeah. So, and then, sorry, it's force of habit.
That's
I've known
fine.
the guy most of my life.
Right.
That's just the way I talk to him. But, and then when I saw the picture later, I was like, oh, that sure was him.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
All right, it's 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Is the sheriff here? I haven't heard yet or not. But let's do this. Let's pause and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like the heat will get turned up on us this weekend with high pressure parking over eastern New Mexico. Our highs this afternoon around 105, and we'll be getting sunshine, fairly light wind. For the overnight hours, clear, and our low cools off to about 70. We could hit 108 on Saturday afternoon, and we keep the sunshine, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 80 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 37%. Winds currently out of the south at 14 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect a high of 105. Sorry. But enjoy it. It's actually hotter tomorrow. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. We do have a heat advisory for today. That's going to officially take effect at 1 o'clock. Remaining in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 72. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny, hot, 108 tomorrow. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour early, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Sunday, another hot one. Sunny, hot, 106 for a high. South winds 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then your work week next week going to be warm as well. 104 Monday. 103 on Tuesday, 100 Wednesday, and then finally Thursday, 97 for a high there. All right, it is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a commercial break. Sheriff Mike Harrington scheduled to join us here in just a bit. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Do you ever differ with other people on any given subject? Well, if you're breathing, the answer is yes. From politics to sports, many fights have broken out over those things. We all have an opinion, and our opinion is correct. Many times it seems just too difficult to find common ground. The way I see it, we basically have four options when it comes to disagreeing with others. We can criticize them until they change. We can criticize them till they separate themselves from us. We can simply separate ourselves from them. Or finally, we can simply endure the discomfort. A guy by the name of Paul wrote to a church in the town of Ephesus. He said, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace." So, the next argument you have with someone, maybe lean towards simply enduring and love first.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Are you tired of the endless spiral of medications that mostly are there to treat the side effects of other medications you take? Many medical providers are quick to prescribe medication without looking for healthier treatment options. At Roswell Medical Clinic, we practice functional medicine, which looks for ways to treat your illness with healthier lifestyle changes and fewer pills. At Roswell Medical Clinic, our providers will take the time to explore treatment options that include lifestyle changes and don't necessarily rely on more prescriptions. Call Roswell Medical Clinic today to schedule your appointment at 575-623-3311 or stop by our clinic at 111 West Hobbs in Roswell. Roswell Medical Clinic. Don't wait for an illness to start valuing your wellness.
Make your home a smart home with smart home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today 575-755-1000 or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:24, and joining us in studio, the one on time. We're gonna give her. We get two people we get to give a hard time about this morning. Joining us here in studio is Monica Glenn. Monica is with the Friends of the Chavez County Sheriffs. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm very well, thank you.
Sheriff Mike Harrington and Under Sheriff Charles Eastlis are on their way in. They just right before we went on air here, they were ringing into the building now. So we'll get them in up here on. But we get to give them a hard time for being late.
Yes.
That's fair game.
I hurried to be here on time.
Because I know the sheriff, like when he comes and like Charles or James or someone was late, he'd give him a hard time.
Oh, good.
So
well, we can do that.
Now it's time. The shoe is on the other foot.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, before they get over here and take over the conversation, let's kind of talk a little bit about what the Friends of the Chavez County Sheriffs do.
So what we are is a fundraising organization in support of the Sheriff's Office.
Okay.
So what we do is we take in donations of stuff that the deputies could have in their vehicles that help when they have, issues with kids or anything. So
things
small toys,
like clothing, blankets, things like that.
Stuff like that, just so that they have some comfort items for them.
Sure.
Energy bars, granola bars, anything new, unwrapped, that kind of stuff.
Someone needs a snack or a bottle of water.
Exactly.
Things
Stuff
like
that they could just have handy.
Yeah.
But then also on the other side of that, we also take money donations. We are
to
fundraising.
Buy said snacks and everything else.
To buy said stuff. Plus, when the Sheriff's Office has an event or something program that they want to include with the community and they need the funds to help support that, it's easier for them to get that with us than having to go through budget items or through the county. So we help with fundraising items like that as well.
Anybody that's dealt with government in any way, shape, or form knows that everything moves glacial through there.
Yes.
So when you guys when there's a priority need, you've got to run it up a flagpole, run it down a flagpole, run it back up a flagpole, and by the time you do that, the needs long
Absolutely.
past. Yeah. So,
And plus, we are a nonprofit organization. So when people do make donations to us for the Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office, they do get a tax deduction for that because it is a nonprofit. So
very good.
It's a good program to help support the Sheriff's Office and help them with their programs that they want to put out into the community.
Awesome. By the way, while we were talking, Sheriff Mike Harrington officially,
that's right.
Monica gets to give you a hard time.
Let me tell you what I
One of your sheriffs almost gave me a ticket.
Oh, good. And they help pay for that. That's good. No, so that's good. So, no, I'm very glad to see that she's here, and I will tell you, it is something to us that is a blessing because, like I said, one thing that we know is the budget for the county is set at in the beginning of the middle of the year, but at the beginning of the fiscal year, and to go back and ask for things is tough because everybody's got their hand out.
Right.
So you might think what you need is the most important, but everybody does. So the county really has to pick and choose on what they can do. And, right now, especially as crazy as times are, money's just not there.
Right.
So for us, we are blessed to have volunteers that have been doing this for a while now. And one of the things that I will tell you is they are dedicated to it, and it's brand new. So I didn't know what we could do or couldn't do as a nonprofit organization.
Sure.
So one of the things whenever it first started was I was told, well, you can't be there as the sheriff.
Gotcha.
So I didn't get involved with it because I didn't want it to go away.
Yeah.
I worked hard to get it to go. But now that we know we're going to be doing events, I'm looking at trying to do something hopefully July, around, I believe it's July the 26th or 27th.
Okay.
Whatever day that is, we're going to get with the veterans place over on by the Elks Club.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to go over there and we're going to set up and we're going to do come out, meet and talk with the sheriff, but also doing a fundraiser for the sheriff's office with the Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office.
So if people come out to the event, they come, meet, talk with you. If they bring some money or bring like some of the things
Items.
they're talking about, blankets and toys, stuffed bears, things like that for the for kids, or bottles of water or cases of water, those kind of things
And
that they can
people
keep in the vehicle.
Can be involved as much as they'd like. If they want to become members of our group, they can do that on an individual basis. It's a $25 fee to become a member of the Chaves County Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office.
Sure.
Businesses can do it as well. It's a $100 membership fee to,
Be a
to do it
sponsor.
as sponsor through the business.
Good deal.
We have a Facebook page, Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office on Facebook. To kind of keep up with events. When
Is
we
that
have our
probably the
meetings.
best way to communicate with you guys? So if someone's interested in volunteering or
We
something?
have that. We also have we have an email address, and it's
very confusing and long.
It's FOTCCSO@gmail.com.
So initials for Friends of Chaves County Sheriff.
Yes,
DFN.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
And then we do have a website through Square
Okay.
where they can go on, and it's the same, the FOTCCSO. I think it's
But it sounds like-
square.site, and they can go on there and they can do their memberships there. They can donate there. So
Good
there's
deal.
several ways that you can get a hold of us.
But if all that's confusing, you can easily just go to the Friends of the Chaves County
Just-
Sheriff Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And get it taken care of.
Yes.
And they can also call me at the sheriff's office, but everybody has my cell phone.
Sure.
So they can call me and I can get them in touch with them. One thing that you guys all had already covered, the difference between donating to the Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office and back like it used to be where we take it to the sheriff's office and donate it that way, is this way is a tax write-off.
Sure. So you get a little tax credit
You
for
get a little
it.
tax credit.
Which
and-
I know most people don't care about that, but
Well,
for some that do, and please take advantage of it. If you're generous enough to do this, get the tax breaks. You earned it.
Absolutely.
Get
Right.
it,
Absolutely.
And especially right now when money is very, very tight, and you kind of want to get something back when you get your taxes at the end of the year. You're paying.
I don't know
enough
anything
out,
about
I
what
don't
that's
either.
like,
I don't either. But,
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, but every little bit helps, and it also keeps the federal government from getting your money. I would rather give my money to another organization than to pay it to the federal government, and that's how you get that knocked down a little bit. So, and believe me, they take a lot. So,
and every donation you make through the Friends of the Chavez County Sheriff goes right directly into
the sheriff's office.
into the sheriff's office needs, whether it's to buy cases of water to keep in vehicles or bears or whatever, or if it's something bigger where there's equipment needs or something like that for the sheriff's office.
For me, this is what this is about. There's several things that we want to do. We want to do a civilian academy, and when you have a civilian academy, kind of like the Roswell club, that you have right now.
Yeah, okay.
And so you get T-shirts and you get things that you give out. You're able to do things. And that comes out of that fund.
It's like a community outreach, community,
absolutely.
a conduit between the law enforcement and the general public.
It really is. It brings them in, and it's a 14-week program. You get to see everything from what the police officers do from the beginning to the end of a crime. Also, you're going to visit the courts. You're going to go and you're going to talk to judges. Or actually, they come into the class. They're going to talk to you about what they do. We also have people from the prison who come in and talk to you about what's waiting for you if you choose that lifestyle, of being a bad guy. But it also let you know what we deal with as law enforcement officers, as correction officers.
Sure.
Well,
in the world we live in now, we need to bridge that gap between, when we look at what we see on TV and, I don't want to get all political, but, some of it, there's a lot of, we got, but some of it's, training, education, but a lot of it is understanding from the officer's perspective. And I think things like this bridge that gap. Like I've always joked, and not joked, but watching like your cops and all these shows, if you spend 5 minutes seeing that, you understand why the officers ask you these questions or making you do a certain thing. And once you understand that reason, you probably it all
comes together.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and we live in a world now where I think if we educate, the public understands from the officer's perspective. Obviously, you guys understand from their perspective. And we need to bridge that gap a little bit. And I think things like this kind of bridge that gap.
It really does. And then the other thing that we're looking at is bringing back the Explorer program, the Sheriff's Explorer program. When this all ended, I had 35 kids involved before COVID, involved in the Explorer program. And when it went away, I have these kids coming to me now saying, hey, when are we going to get this started? And I back then I had gotten some shirts donated to them and some things. Well, you wouldn't believe how much taller and bigger these kids have become. Yeah. So now
it happens in a couple years.
Yeah. They come in looking like me, who looks like they're wearing a half shirt. Like that. What is that?
I'm ready, Sheriff. No, you're not. You're about to miss a half a shirt.
So we're looking at doing that so that we can get uniforms and things like that going, as well as when we have our events, they're going to be there. The Friends of the Chavez County Sheriff's Office is going to be there, and we're going to continue to grow with this community, and that's the whole goal. And then my next deal is the reserve program. Bringing in, I would like to have 10 reserve officers and then also have the sheriff's posse. And I'm looking to have up to 100 people in that.
Okay.
That's something that if we have another event or we have something like a lot of these parades and things that are going on, I can call people to action. These are some people who don't want to necessarily go out and do police work like ride-alongs or things like that. But they want to be more like the auxiliary people that are at the hospital, and they're good at getting.
I used to do the show, morning show in Artesia for 8 years, and Eddy County has an Eddy County Sheriff's Posse, and a lot of times, I think one of the more famous things they're known for is bull riding and stuff down there. But it's an extension, like it. So your vision is kind of like what the Eddy County Sheriff's Posse is.
Yes, Lee County, Eddy County, San Juan County. They have a some of the they're really who I'm learning from. We used to have a sheriff's posse a long time ago.
Did we? Okay.
And whenever I first started, and it just separated itself because it was no longer a valued asset by the sheriff.
It got autonomous, and the missions weren't the same.
They weren't the same.
Makes sense.
One of the things that I want to do is I'll be very much involved in that, but it's going to be based on the needs of the sheriff's office.
Sure.
And so if we have something coming up, we're going to do that. So, but we need uniforms. We need all these different things. But also there's other things within the department that I want to do, and that is officers or deputies of the year, deputy of the quarter.
Sure.
To recognize these guys because they get out there, they work very hard, and we can't use county money to do those things because it's designated for something else.
Gotcha. If it's not armament or training or something directly, then the money's not approved for those kind of things. Yeah, gotcha.
So we're very thankful, but I'm going to say, and I just want you to know how appreciative I am of this lady, and but everybody who's on the board, they've really dedicated a lot of time for free to do this job.
Sure.
And and believe me, it is a job. This isn't just come in and sit down and have a meeting and go. This is a job, and it takes a lot of time. And I'm very thankful. And I would love to have more people come and be a part of this. The more people you have, the more they can go out and talk and spread the word. But being able to be on the radio and also on Facebook and doing all this, it really does show that law enforcement is very much a part of this community, and we want the community to be a part of law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to get rid of that gap there, and I really believe we're there.
Yes.
We just have to give them the way to do this.
Sure.
So, and that's what this is about.
Yeah, and we'd like to invite the community. Anybody can come to our meetings.
Well, the more the merrier, right? The more hands, less work. That's
Absolutely.
always
we meet the first Monday of the month at the chamber at 5:30.
Very good.
And they're not long meetings, and the public is very much invited to join us. And like you said, the more people we have, the easier it is on everybody.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it's, if you're maybe, like you said, maybe I don't have a lot of finances I can donate, but I got a little time.
You got time. We can use it.
And that is very as appreciated as the bucks is.
And our goal really is to make it easier for the sheriff's office to be out in the community and help support that.
Well, we all know that sheriff's deputies, law enforcement, I don't care what all law enforcement is, when they go out on patrol on a given day, they're going to see and do things that some of us would never fathom that would be something in our world. Yeah. And they come across that on a daily basis. Yes. And so sometimes an awful scenario is made worse because there was a little bear or something in the back that an officer can give a kid to kind of calm down the scenario there. Or I don't know how many times they come across a homeless gentleman in the alley that's just kind of hanging out and give him a bottle of water, give him a sandwich or something. That's it happens every day with these
we
sheriff's
meet deputies all the time that have no problem with that coming out of their own pocket. They'll buy that themselves, but we want to. They
don't want to have to.
We don't want to make them have to do that.
They spend a lot of money for their. And let me ask you this, because I did the ride along there, and one thing that I noticed that these guys were using, and we actually made a stop, and this is like the medical gloves, like your nurses and doctors wear when you go to your they're constant, because just about every time they go on a call, they got to put those on if they're going to frisk or deal with somebody. Yeah. So, matter of fact, the one ride along day, the officer's like, hey, let's swing by the hospital. They usually they gave them some. And so I know they do that a lot, but I imagine if folks bought a couple boxes and brought them in, those are sanitizer things, those are things that the officers are on a given basis. Because every call, it's like, it's sanitizer.
Yeah, you can't.
And the gloves you can't reuse, but the sanitizer. So even something that simple, is a valuable asset.
And we want to make it easy for people to make these donations so they can contact us through the Facebook page. They could email us. We can set up times to meet people to get these donations so that we can take it to the sheriff's office, or they can just take it directly to the sheriff's office. But anything, we can make it work so that we can get these items to them.
Yeah. So if you're willing to come on out to the next board meeting. Which when's the next date for the actual next one?
It's the first Monday of the month.
So it'll be actually in July here. So
Well, no, we're actually skipping July's meeting because
that'd be like UFO Festival weekend, wouldn't
right.
it?
Yeah. So we're skipping that one, and we're going to be doing the membership drive in
later
the end of July. So
yes, and I don't think that there's going to be any issues with that.
Okay.
All we're doing right now is just getting on board with the veterans over there to get that done. And
Gotcha.
Once that's done, then we'll.
So probably in the meantime, reach out through the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Shoot a message through there. Say, hey, I heard you on the radio this morning. I'd love to volunteer. Yes. Or hey, I've got some donations. How do I get them to you? Whatever it is.
Yes. And what you're going to donate would pay your membership.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of the things too that if all you have is the money to donate, look at using that to become a member.
Sure.
And then
because your membership dues goes right to help as well. That's why you're paying $25 to be a member.
That's right.
It's not to make us look cool. It's to put that money back into help.
And we'll give you a really nice sticker.
Yes. And you know, we're looking at shirts and we're looking at other things. But right now, until the funds get up there,
sure,
you know, we just appreciate
the money's going to actual needed stuff when there's a little bit more to use for promotions.
We don't
and
have a lot for swag right now, but
we're going to be doing the parade during
the festival, UFO festival,
the UFO festival,
which by the way is in the morning. Just I know a lot of people used to the night parade at night, and no, this year it's Saturday morning the parade.
Yes,
so
so and that by itself is consuming of manpower, or it consumes a lot of manpower. So when we have volunteers to do things, they're the ones that can also be out just directing people and helping out with other things. So the more people we have, I'm telling you, the littlest things you can help with make a big difference.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's really how community policing works here, and this is how that relationship happens here. Right. So, please, and then like we said, you know what? Even if you're kind of want more, if you happen to see a sheriff's deputy out and about doing his duty, not when he's officially doing his duty, like pulling somebody over, but if you happen to catch him on his lunch break or somewhere on her lunch break, you know, sit down and talk. Say, hey, you know, I heard on the radio what kind of stuff do you guys, you know, they'd be happy to tell you that kind of stuff and talk about that.
And I'll just tell you this too, you know, a lot of the guys are very, they're prideful. So, you know, they don't want to say that they
it's like, we're fine, don't worry about it. Yeah.
You know, but the reality of it is, we are, and when I say we, it's also coming from them. We are providing a lot of stuff directly to them. So they never really notice the shortage,
right?
Because it keeps coming, you know, and that's one of the good things about this community. They give, and you know, and that's why Albuquerque's putting all their homeless on buses, sending them here because we're taking them in, and you know, and that's a shame because they're being brought in, but that's a whole different story. So, but the reality of it is, this community is a giving community. I've watched people almost get the back end of their car destroyed because they will pull over and slam on the brakes to give somebody a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
You know, on the side of the road. And very generous, but very dangerous.
Sure.
You know, so it's something to us that we know this community is that, and that's why we live here.
Sure.
You know, but we also want to make sure that they know that law enforcement and the residents of Chaves County are one, and that without each other, we don't solve any crime. We don't have the knowledge that you have out there, and so with that, you tell us something, we work it, and we solve big crimes.
Absolutely, so, you know, working with the community, with the police. That's how we as a community survive. That's how, you know, and let's face it, when the unfortunate things happen, when we have these crimes, the violent crimes that do happen, the way they get solved and the way we understand how it happened is through that community police relationship and then support, because
absolutely is.
It's one of those things that the and I get it, people don't want to snitch or things like that, and you get in that world, but at the same time, there's people that live in these communities and they're tired of seeing the same things happening over and over again, and so they're saying, you know what, how are you going to stop that? By staying quiet or doing something about it, and communicating that with law enforcement is a step in that direction.
What I've learned doing this job for as long as I have, it's not that people don't want to snitch; they don't want anybody to know that they did snitch.
Right.
So
you have Crime Stoppers and various avenues.
And you have my cell phone number, and they'll never know. But here's the one thing that I can tell you is you can only take so much until you're fed up with it. And, a lot of people say, man, I live in this neighborhood. I'm here. I don't want people to know I'm the one who said anything or anything. They never will.
Sure. Yeah.
And we take your information and we build on it, and we start our own investigation, and we use that to know where the problem is.
Sure.
And we do our own investigation. We never need to mention you ever. So it's important to know that. And I believe we have that trust within this community. And that's one of the reasons I think that people do donate and they do bring in stuff to us.
Sure.
Because they know that when we tell you something, that's the truth.
Right.
And we're not going to burn you. Our goals are the same, and that is to make this place safe and better.
And that's that's when we talk, especially anything government, transparent, and that's really with the sheriff's department.
That's right.
And it's you guys do have a unique position there because you want to be transparent on everything,
right?
As far as what the sheriff's department is doing and all of that stuff. But at the same time, when you're working an actual case, there's parts of the details that are meant for public consumption and aren't meant. And generally the ones that aren't meant for public consumption are at a later date. But because of the sensitivity or the timing of the information, you're not in a need-to-know basis yet. And so you have to juggle that a little bit.
But one of the craziest things, someone will send us a picture of someone in a hoodie wearing glasses and looks like the Unabomber, or it's so fuzzy and it looks like Bigfoot, in those pictures of Bigfoot. But somebody knows them.
Mm-hmm.
So when we put those pictures out, they're like, man, that looks just like
that's Bobby from up the street
there
or whatever
exactly
it is.
So no matter how crazy the picture is, somebody knows them.
Sure.
And
it could be that weird red hoodie they're wearing. It's only one dude I know got that hoodie. Yeah,
So when you put that out there, things that you think, man, there's no way we're going to be able to identify this guy. And you put it out there, people are like, hey, that's so-and-so, because he wears the same clothes every day.
It's literally fishing for you guys. You guys are throwing the hooks out and saying, let's see if there's anybody that takes a nibble on this. And that's police work. That's really how it works here. But
So the bottom line to all of this is the sheriff's office needs your help as a community to solve crimes, but we also need your help through the Friends of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office to get items and money to help us get these other organizations up and running. We're going to help the kids within this community with the Sheriff's Explorer program. And like I said, the Reserve program by itself is so beneficial because it brings extra people onto a shift.
Sure.
In the craziest times we've ever lived.
Yeah. Sure. And it gives you a kind of a farm system for when you got
new people.
Yeah, deputies retire and you got some qualified people ready to step up and move into those positions.
Well, there's just some people who can't afford to be a policeman full time.
And this gives them that option too.
It gives them that option to be able to come out and do this job without having to give up the money making job,
their day job.
So exactly. And we're very thankful for them because we've got some guys out there in the mounted patrol and that are very good at this job.
Sure.
But they wouldn't be living where they live if they did this job.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
That's just how that works. So.
Makes sense. We got about 3-4 minutes here. I want to give you a chance. Any stuff you guys are seeing out in the streets or anything we want to let the public know about, or any events or things or any stories or anything we want to get word out about?
Right now, one of the things is just the increase in homeless.
Okay.
We're getting a lot of homeless people coming in. with mental health issues. And, if you come across somebody, I don't know if you seen the deal on Facebook here just this morning. It's a picture of a lady laying in the middle of the street.
I think I missed this
up
one.
in the air, she just, I just dealt with that same lady at church on Wednesday. We've got some serious mental health issues with the homeless that are being sent to us.
Gotcha.
And and we don't know their personalities or their characteristics to know whether or not they are friendly or not.
Gotcha.
So just be careful with that. The other thing is like I said, school's out, kids are everywhere. Drive slower, drive safe, and keep your eyes out between where there might be a car parked.
Yeah.
There's going to be a kid run out of there where a basketball rolls out in the road. Or
I'm sure you get an uptick on incidents like, things like this. Hopefully nothing serious, but
right.
every time.
And anything you want to say before you're done?
Just contact us through the Facebook page, email us, whatever, and we'll get those
if you'd like to
donations to them.
A friend of the Chaves County Sheriff's Office, please, like you said, look for Friends of Chaves County Sheriff on Facebook. I'm sure there's a link or anything to the Chaves County Sheriff's Facebook as well. And that way you can reach out if you'd like to be a friend.
Be a member. We need board members.
Yeah.
We need this organization to grow.
Or if you just want to donate some water, some gloves
toys.
or some
We
toys.
prefer the toys and stuff to be new and, just so that we're not just taking anything.
Sure.
So new,
Absolutely.
unwrapped.
Yeah. And also remember, these are items that they got to put in the back of the truck.
Yes.
Trunk.
Small
or, don't be like, I got a bicycle for you. It's like, well, they can't ride around the back with a bicycle in their patrol car. But if it's a little bear or I don't know, some little game or something, something they can handheld and play
Snacks,
with. Something.
little granola bars, stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff kids would like.
Yeah.
Well, especially during the summer with there are some kids that the only meal they get still is the school lunch program.
Yeah, and obviously
so we can give
that's
snacks or
depleted for some, and they get
really
the,
is.
So
that was the other thing, and I was going to tell you that we're looking at doing some barbecues and some things like that at these sheriff events, and it's just probably going to be hot dogs because that's what I'm good at.
Yeah.
So
that's his jam.
That's my thing. But what we do is we'll give out hot dogs and water, but it brings people out. The smell of a barbecue grill going brings them to the table. I know it does me. I don't know about you guys, but it should get you running. So, but we do appreciate you and thank you for having us again.
Anytime, and we appreciate it. And of course,
thanks for letting me.
And just let the friends know. You don't need to have this. You can just reach out to me, and if you guys want to come on for your own to do something, or if you want to get the word out, or if you got an event, whatever it is.
Well, our goal is pretty much to be at every event that the sheriff's office has to give the community an opportunity to sign up and be a part of our membership.
Awesome. So reach out again. Look for Friends of Chaves County Sheriff's Facebook page, and reach out. Shoot a message there or a comment, whatever it is, and they'll get back to you and help or take care, or if you want to help out and stuff, they'll get right back to you.
I'm going to get with the Family Dollar down in.
You're way late.
Down in the Hagerman area as well. And we're going to try to set something up there in their parking lot here in the very near future as well. And
so look out, Hagerman. Sheriff's coming.
That's coming. He's coming. But so we're gonna get down there and same thing, cook up some hot dogs. And have people come out and just visit with us and just become part of this team.
That's right. Awesome.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Appreciate it. Thank you, Monica.
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We'll see you guys next time, and stay safe out there. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Well, I appreciate you.
All right. It is 8:55. Some news and a commercial or two before we get you into, more news. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. North Garden Avenue will be closed to traffic from East 2nd Street to Cherry Street in Roswell beginning June 13th through 17th as pavement work is taking place. Signs will be directing drivers to detour routes, including access to local residences. Nearby businesses along Garden Avenue will be able to be accessed by reaching Garden from East College Boulevard. A Carlsbad High School junior has been named the Gatorade New Mexico Softball Player of the Year. The honor goes to Faith Aragon, who helped lead her team to a 30-1 record and a state championship title this year. Aragon is arguably one of the best combined hitters and pitchers in the state. She went 16-1 on the mound with a 1.91 ERA. And coronavirus cases on the rise again in New Mexico, but there is good news. Top state health officials said Wednesday that a return to mask mandates and other widespread public health restrictions were unlikely because infections were becoming more mild. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks like the heat will get turned up on us this weekend with high pressure parking over eastern New Mexico. Our highs this afternoon around 105, and we'll be getting sunshine, fairly light wind. For the overnight hours, clear, and our low cools off to about 70. We could hit 108 on Saturday afternoon, and we keep the sunshine, 100 to 105 and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The average price that Americans pay for gasoline is closing in on $5 a gallon. Another drain on the wallets of consumers who are paying more for just about everything. AAA said the nationwide average for regular on Thursday was $4.97 a gallon. That's up 25 cents in just the last week, and $1.90 more than drivers were paying a year ago. Teslas with partially automated driving systems are a step closer to being recalled after the U.S. elevated its investigation into a series of collisions with parked emergency vehicles or trucks with warning signs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said Thursday that it is upgrading the Tesla probe to an engineering analysis, another sign of increased scrutiny of the electric vehicle maker and automated systems that perform at least some driving tasks. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
In times of uncertainty, one thing seems to be constant. Crime tends to rise. Zenith Security Services, a locally owned company that's invested in our community, reminds you that for less than 5 quarters a day, you can be proactive in protecting your home, family, and assets with a monitored alarm from a top UL-rated company. The hardest calls we receive at Zenith Security are those needing our services after the fact. Call Zenith Security Services at 575-626-3521 to schedule your free security assessment today.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie.
I'm Rich Thomason. Not a day to check the 401k if you're invested in the stock market. The newly released inflation report unleashing a Wall Street sell-off has the benchmarks plunging well over 2%. In fact, the NASDAQ right now down more than 3%. The government's consumer price index for May rose more than economists were expecting, up 8.6% from a year ago. That was on the heels of an 8.3% increase in April. Soaring prices for food, energy, and shelter playing a major role. If you're like motorist Quentin McZeal in Oakland, California, soaring pump prices putting the squeeze on other parts of your budget.
There's a lot of other things I can't do because I have to pay for gas. You know what I'm saying? Less food, less playtime. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to put gas. I got to go to work, right?
And gas prices this morning averaging at least $4.99 a gallon nationwide. The Democrat-controlled House panel investigating the U.S. Capitol riot staged a made-for-TV event last evening. Quick to blame former President Trump, Democrats accusing him of trying to topple the government, while Republicans insist it's a clear sign of the Democrats' desperation.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney had a word of warning for supporters of former President Trump.
There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain.
Former presidential candidate Gary Bowers says, given what's at stake, it is important that Republicans push back hard.
I know a lot of people would like to go back to the politics of the 1950s where things were a lot calmer But that's not the era we live in.
Bauer calls the hearings a joke and not a serious effort to find the truth about what really happened on January 6th. Bob Agnew reporting.
And a brutal day on Wall Street so far. This final trading day of the week, the Dow down 745 points, the NASDAQ off 382 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and start getting cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. That's promo code SALEM. Remember, use promo code SALEM for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up.
The UK government planning to dispose of billions of dollars worth of unusable protective gear purchased for healthcare workers during the COVID crisis.
At the height of the pandemic, the British government rushed to buy masks, gloves, gowns and other protective equipment. But nearly $5 billion worth of the PPE purchased couldn't be used in hospitals. Now some of it will be burnt. The government says this will help generate power. The main opposition Labour Party has accused ministers of carelessly burning taxpayers' money. The Department of Health says it's misleading to say it's burning $5 billion of unusable PPE, and it made no apology for buying too much rather than too little.
That's a BBC's Lucy Manning. China once again attacking the theory that the coronavirus may have originated as a leak from a Chinese lab, Beijing calling it a politically motivated lie. News and analysis, townhall.com. The UN is on the grow.
Without opposition, Ecuador, Japan, Malta, Mozambique, and Switzerland were elected to join the powerful UN Security Council for a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2023. Winning a seat on the 15-member council is considered a pinnacle of achievement for many countries because it gives them a strong voice on issues of international peace and security. Mozambique and Switzerland will be serving for the first time, while Japan sits for its 12th term. Ron DeRochster reporting.
Authorities in western Maryland say an employee opened fire at a manufacturing business yesterday afternoon, leaving 3 co-workers dead. 1 other critically injured before the suspect and a state trooper were wounded in a shootout. So far, there's been no word on a motive for that workplace shooting near the city of Hagerstown, Maryland. Once again on Wall Street this hour, stocks deep in the red, the Dow down 741 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Finally made it to Friday. Hope you're excited.
I am.
Should be. It's Friday.
I am very amused. I can't say the other line.
Yeah, he's happy. He's going to be Sans kids this weekend, so he's all in single man mode.
Already though, Misty texted me. She's like, "Are you going to bring the kids to the pool this afternoon or today?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to. I don't listen to this show. It's fine."
Well,
I took him yesterday. If I go to the pool, I kind of want to just go for me. Maybe do laps or something, you know?
Maybe.
I've been neglecting my, my temple.
Temple of Doom.
That's right. You're not wrong. A lot closer to Hidden Valley Ranch than any kind of Taj Mahal.
Well, that's all right. Mine's a temple of goo. I worked hard for this goo.
Dude, same, but it's just well-placed goo. You just got to move the goo in the right places. Like people say, are you losing weight? I'm like, no, I just part on the sides
I just
now.
move it to another.
Yeah.
It's not nice to talk of people like this, but I'm doing it anyway.
But it's my show.
I watched. Kim and I were watching a Judge Judy rerun because that's what we do from time to time.
They do know we do a morning show, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're aware of the fact that we're doing a morning show. Inside Voices.
Well, we were watching Judge Judy as we do, and they had one of the plaintiff defendant. I think it was a plaintiff. This lady it looked like she was melting. It was the weirdest look I've ever seen. Like her bones were here.
Right.
The skin was exceeding past the bone.
So it looked like she was wearing like a suit?
And her face,
like an Egger suit?
It almost looked like when you watch like Austin Powers and you see Mike Myers dressed up as one of his characters. It looked like
FB?
Yeah, it just looked or
it didn't look normal.
Like a bad makeup
But
job.
the skin looked not right. It
Okay.
looked like it literally looked like she was under like one of those McDonald's hot lights and then started melting.
You know
That's
what I
what
think?
it looked like.
I think that the world wasn't ready for 1080p. I'm coming to terms with the fact the world was not ready for the high def revolution because people are just not camera ready. Same thing with that woman who was on TV earlier. It was some woman on Fox News earlier, and I swear it looked like my old boss from my radio station.
Sean.
In a wig.
You mean the high resolution revolution?
Yes, the high resolution revolution. Walked all the way in here for that. And
From the makers of the Information Superhighway, come
High Resolution Revolution. The High Revolution.
Is that like the sequel to Dance Dance Revolution?
Yes, everybody's real high.
But yeah, it looked odd. It was just an odd thing.
That's. I've said this out loud at least a couple of times over the last week or so. That person, that's just an unfortunate looking person.
Yeah.
There are just people out there that you look at them, you're like, oh, that's just unfortunate.
But good news, they won their case. So.
Oh, good. They can invest in some like one of those things where they grab like a butterfly clip and they
clothespin and just kind of pitch it all back there. Yeah, maybe. Anyway,
somebody loan me a bobby pin.
That doesn't make you hungry. This will. Come on down to McDonald's. McDonald's Friday. Big thank you to McDonald's.
All I could think was that first scene in Men in Black, like the dude wearing the skin suit.
Oh yeah,
the Egger suit.
Yeah.
Give me sugar and water.
Could have been V. Maybe the skin was loose like V and didn't need to just tighten it back up there to stick it back to the lizard skin.
The other skin, you could see like the gray skin inside the actual skin.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he eat the mouse. Remember that from the original V when they ate the mouse the first time? Like, whoa, that human just ate a mouse.
Yes.
It's not human.
No.
Sorry.
You know what's way better than mice? A big fluffy stack of griddle cakes.
You're all right. Hot cakes and sausage.
Hot cakes and sausage.
You're all right.
Love it.
Thank you to McDonald's. They provide us delicious breakfast treats each and every Friday. My wife had a sausage McMuffin with egg earlier. Took that out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And definitely swing on by any of your McDonald's here locally. They got you covered. Don't forget to download the app so you can start utilizing their rewards program where you get free food. And you know what? It works handy when you get towards the end of your payday and you're like, I just want some chicken nuggets. And you're like, oh, I got 4,000 points. Bing, chicken nuggets.
Right on. We're on their way. And it literally says, it's really cool. At the end, when you cash out, it says, this one's on us.
Yeah.
It kind of feels special. Like, thanks, McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll buy the next round.
There you go. But it is pretty cool. You start earning reward, and it's actually a pretty fast earning rewards
It
program.
really is,
like after one or two trips, you've got enough for free items.
Not
It's
to
really,
mention
yeah.
you accumulate 2 times the points during breakfast orders through the app. So something to keep in mind. If you want to double up your points, order your breakfast through the app and bump it up a notch.
See, I can't do that during the week.
No, you can't during the week. By the way, and I haven't done it yet because I've been waiting for payday. Have you tried the new chocolate pretzel McFlurry? I am going to try it today for sure.
I'm in, though.
Yeah. It
I
sounds
like chocolate,
sounds amazing,
I like
doesn't
pretzels, I like McFlurries.
As soon as I
all of
saw
the
it,
above.
I took a picture of it. As soon as I saw it on the menu, I was like, "Oh, this is a Mike Winters special."
Yeah.
It's like R&D.
built for me.
It's like R&D listens to our show, and they're like, "Let's give the man just one of the things he wants."
Well,
we're not ready for breakfast fish sandwich yet.
That's what I want.
But let's go ahead and give him a little
All
taste.
right, well, give me. All right, well then. All right, let's compromise.
This is
for my next request. Bring back the steak and egg bagel.
There you go. I feel like this is McDonald's R&D showing you their potential.
Okay.
I feel like with this move, McDonald's, you really did set your bar pretty high.
Chocolate pretzel McFlurry.
So
Bring it.
if you're going to set the bar this high, you've done this a few times in the past. The grilled chicken flatbread was on the menu for like 8 months back in like 03 to 04.
Okay.
Legitimately still one of my favorite things they've ever had on the menu. That was setting the bar.
I don't think I remember. I remember the wrap.
Oh no, this
and
was
the wrap I liked.
This was
but I don't
above
think I
and
had the
beyond.
flatbread.
It was literally a flatbread, and it came out. It was like a floury almost flatbread. It was so good. It had actual grilled chicken in it. It had this sauce. This
so
yogurt sauce.
artisan-y.
It was very much like a gyro. Yeah, you're on.
Oh, y'all got all quiet.
Well, we were waiting for you to pontificate.
And for making requests, one thing I want back and I miss so bad is the Southwest chicken salads.
Yes.
Those
were great.
Awesome.
Those are great.
It's my wife. She goes and craves salads at McDonald's.
You know what? Dude,
they were good.
They had a good salad. They really did have a good salad.
I'll have to take your word for it. I've never walked into McDonald's and ordered a salad.
Don't even take my word for it. Take Paul Newman's word for it.
You know what? I'll trust all you guys. I've just never walked into McDonald's and ordered a salad.
Oh, Southwest chicken salad.
I do. You know what I do miss? And
That's part of a joke, by the way, which I can't share on the radio.
Yeah. This is obscure. Well, this isn't obscure, but they had them for a while. Remember the salad shakers? Even those were pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, if you just wanted something kind of fresh-ish tasting on like the go, just a cup of salad. It was nice.
I never had that. I don't go into McDonald's.
Just
for
saying. Now
salads.
that we know McDonald's R&D is active, we're putting in requests.
Yeah, but I will down that chocolate pretzel McFlurry. I'll be all over that. So, hey, let me give you the rundown for this hour. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few, and then we're going to replay an interview. Robert Sherman with the Walker Aviation Museum joined Sean on the show Tuesday of this week and had a great discussion, talking a little his story, not his story like the Michael Jackson thing, but history. After I said that sounds like his story. Like,
his story.
Like, but different one.
What story you could have gone with? I don't know why you went with Michael Jackson.
Well, didn't he have an album or something called His Story?
Oh, that's right, he did. Wow, way to pull that one out of obscurity. Was that the one where he had the big statue of himself?
I think
he put in
so.
the boat?
I think that was that one. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, it don't matter if you're black or white.
His story. Yeah.
His story. I was just thinking the other story.
No. Actually, his story.
Let's focus on Newman's own ranch, not Neverland Ranch. In my personal opinion.
Good ranches. Newman's Ranch has got to be great up there.
Newman's own ranch was fantastic.
It's got to be right there with Hidden Valley's ranch.
You know what? I would love to do an independent ranch taste test, just to Now I'm just pulling out good mythical more premises, but yeah, just basically just to see which ranch stands out. Like we could do blind.
You're talking
taste
just
test.
standard fare commercial bottles of ranch.
Sure,
dressing.
I'm talking about your Newman's Own versus your Hidden Valley.
Because what I'm
versus
getting
Wishbone.
at is I'm a huge fan of Dion's green chili
absolutely,
ranch.
yeah.
Does that come to this party or is it not allowed?
I feel like it can't because that one's going to stand out. I would say maybe Dion's original ranch.
Yeah,
could bring that to, because what I'm thinking is we have somebody pick, know which one, which bowl has which.
Yeah,
serve them to us, and then we have to try to figure out where they're from.
Yeah. See, I'm not sure if I have enough qualified enough to be a ranch connoisseur.
Sir, you judged barbecue for a number of years. You can't tell me you're not qualified enough to do a ranch off.
Well, I'm not from Texas. I wasn't born.
Never
with
spent any time on the ranch.
I wasn't born with a ranch spigot on my, like some Texans were, where they just put ranch on everything. So I'm actually, to be honest, I put ranch on very few things. I like it in chicken wings.
Okay.
If I can, I actually like blue cheese
I prefer
and
blue
ranch.
cheese
I like them both. I want
wings.
to go one blue cheese, one ranch. So I like.
But what about
both.
pepperoni pizza?
I don't. I can. I just don't.
That's the baller move. That's how I run it. Prefer it.
I'm a au naturel pizza guy. Generally, don't put anything on my pizza.
Oh, dude. I'm going to tell you what. You want to knock your pizza up like 17 or so notches?
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself, and I found this at the store. They have this. It's a balsamic vinegar glaze.
Okay.
The balsamic vinaigrette glaze. It's like it's like syrup almost.
Okay.
Pop that on top of any kind of pizza. Thank me later.
All right.
That stuff's amazing.
All right. Can I get like a Totino's party pizza and
Oh,
put
dude,
it on one of those?
any of them. I did it last night with one I got from Sam's Club. So yeah, absolutely.
Totino's is kind of a few steps down from that one.
Sure.
It's literally, you know what? Totino's is like a crispier version of high school pizza.
Yes. And I loved that pizza.
I did too.
That was the best lunch they ever served.
Although I'd like to eat it as an adult now and see if I still have the same fond memories or
Yes.
I'm gonna be
They
mad.
still serve them.
Is it still the
I
same
haven't had
giant
one.
rectangular?
Yes.
I haven't had one of those
And
pieces of pizza
they
since high
also
school.
serve the breakfast ones that are like
See, the
that.
breakfast one was awesome. Do they still do the piggy sticks? I don't think they call them that
Piggy
anymore.
sticks.
Yeah, you got to go.
Is that like
it was a sausage on a
pig in
stick.
a blanket?
Yeah, the sausage on a stick wrapped
and
in
it's
pancake.
a pancake breading.
Yeah.
Yes, they do
Those
still
are amazing.
do that.
That was a McGriddle before McGriddle was cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't had one of those pizzas since high school, so I need to have one now to see if I still love it or I'd be revolted
I
by
don't
it.
like them.
You do know someone who knows someone.
Yeah, do I want to pull that string?
Well, I mean,
Bring me home some school pizza?
yeah. If you would be curious, Kim, bring him home some school pizza.
But I got to have it kind of at lunchtime.
Okay.
Because I can't, I know, I'm just thinking.
Okay, let me pitch you this.
School pizza that you eat 6 hours later, that's got to be not
Hold
good.
on. What time is this? What time is the lunch at your school?
It depends on what grade level you're
Let's
in.
say for your grade level. For second.
This year it was at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Then we went.
Let me suggest something.
Uh-huh.
How about you and me go and talk to her class? On pizza day, you have to make sure you let us know when pizza day is. We go and have a
Gotta
talk
let
to
us
your
in the
class.
building.
Yes, they will. If we say we're with the radio station, we're here to tell kids about what it's like to be DJs.
I can have outside guests for classroom discussion.
We're here. It's like a career day thing. Hey, kids, let me tell you which career you shouldn't pick. let me tell you why you should stay in school.
That's right. Pay attention to math, kids. You don't want to do our job.
And then we can go to lunch with them, and we can have pizza, and we can actually try their pizza.
The school pizza?
Yeah.
You'd want to go to lunch with the kids?
Why not? We could have Tanner come out and film it.
Oh, this is getting
Or
bigger
young
and
Roy.
bigger.
See, now we're building a bit. This whole thing started with just an idea.
All
Now
right.
we're building a bit. I know you got to go.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
We'll talk about this. I do want a requirement, though. I want it on that little styrofoam tray or
Of course.
whatever it is.
With the tiny milk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do they serve it? What kind of trays they got nowadays? It's not the plastic yellow ones like when I was.
No.
No,
it's
I
those
love
are
those.
disposable.
Yeah, the styrofoam.
Throw them away.
All right. That'll do.
And they got the little milk carton.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate?
They do serve chocolate.
Sweet.
On request.
I didn't get no plain milk. I'm always
And then
get
they
chocolate.
got a little salad bar thing that kids can go to. with that. Huh?
Yeah, see, that's highfalutin. We ain't have nothing like that. All right, it's 9:20. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks like the heat will get turned up on us this weekend with high pressure parking over eastern New Mexico. Our highs this afternoon around 105, and we'll be getting sunshine, fairly light wind. For the overnight hours, clear, and our low cools off to about 70. We could hit 108 on Saturday afternoon, and we keep the sunshine, 100 to 105, and sunny Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, it's already in the 80s, 83 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 34% with winds out of the south at 14 miles per hour. We do have a heat advisory that's going to kick in officially at 1 today through 8 p.m. this evening. It's because it's going to be 105 today. Sunny Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a overnight low of 72 and south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, 108 for a high tomorrow with south winds 10 to 15 for the afternoon. So I'm guessing there'll be heat advisories and all that for tomorrow as well. Sunday, not much cooler, 106 for a high on Sunday with south winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. And then next week, it's going to be hot as well. 104 Monday, 103 Tuesday, 100 on Wednesday. Finally, below 100, 97 on Thursday. All right, 9:22. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Robert Sherman from the Walker Aviation Museum. Don't go away.
If your family's like mine, they're ready for some fun. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. A trip to Glenn's is like a trip to Disneyland. A new buttery soft power reclining sofa and love seat turns your living room into familyland. Cozy new bedroom furniture turns the bedrooms into dreamland. A handsome new dining table transforms your old food court into a 4-star restaurant. And it's all in stock, on sale, and ready for free delivery. So treat your family with a trip to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda.
Buying a sewing machine from a big box store or online might seem like a bargain, but in this case, you really do get what you pay for. Just the machine. No lessons, no help with figuring out why it isn't working the way you expect, and no one close to fix it. Buying locally from an authorized retailer may cost a little more, but in the end, it will save you time, money, and aggravation. Come see me, Chris Ann, at So Easy Sewing, 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell, and let me show you why it pays to shop local. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've convinced yourself it's warm enough to swim in your pool for the first time this season, even if the temperature still carries a hint of fading cold. Who cares? You've paid your winter dues. With hours inside and too much pie, it's time to open your pool. Barbecues, suntans, and games of Marco Polo. Here you come. The only question is, how ready is your pool? It has been waiting patiently for this day too, ready to make your neighbors drool. If you rely on BioGuard products, get ready to slap on some sunscreen and fire up the grill. Not only does BioGuard provide simple solutions, they also have expert dealers who can help you be the best pool owner you can be. Because when your eyes sparkle at the side of your pool, they should always return the favor. Visit your BioGuard dealer at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, and start the season off right.
We cut to order, special order, products sold and new. You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. And joining us in studio this morning from the Walker Aviation Museum, Mr. Robert Sherman. How are you doing this morning?
Great, Sean.
Good to hear it.
Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Mikey is sick, but
yeah.
That happens.
Mixmaster Mike, sometimes he falls under the weather. What worries me is they always call me Mike's doppelganger. And so it really worries me that it's like, I'm basically watching what I'm going to be dealing with in like 9 years. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. I don't know if I'm ready to deal with the stresses that are living as Mike Winters. It's a hard knock life, as they say.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we pick up and we carry on. Obviously, we're kind of coming around the bend of the pandemic. I know COVID-19 is still a thing, but things are kind of loosening up. We're coming out of our houses. We're getting out there. This is going to be the summer that I think people finally stretch their legs and get out. And I think a lot of tourism, a lot of people come into Roswell just to kind of see what we have to offer. And the Walker Aviation Museum, you guys have kept it going pretty much the entire way through.
Yeah, we've most recently we've kind of started up, and we've got 3 of us that are out there about 2 to 3 hours prior to the midday departure, because we just have to depend on volunteers to open it up.
Sure.
So I usually go out, and I've started going out on Saturday now. So we go out Monday through Saturday, about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 prior to the midday takeoff. And you can find that out by just going to aa.com and punching in ROW for Roswell and Dallas Fort Worth DFW. Right. And you can see when it is and confirm that, in fact, it's flying that day. And so if it is, we're out there trying to, we open the doors and we get, anywhere from Bob Donnell yesterday said they only had 5, but I think I had 14 on Saturday.
Sure.
And it's always kind of it's a positive experience for me because you normally meet really nice folks and you meet veterans, you meet other people that are just interested in the history. And so it's kind of a thing that after, you know, at the end of the day, I think it was worth the drive out there to open it up and do stuff. So we have, when we open it up, we have a couple of different videos that we can have running that have historical stuff on it. And I can go up and we can click on a whole bunch of different things if people are interested in a particular aircraft, and we have several chairs there that they could just sit there in front of the big computer screen and watch some of the history of the B-29 or the B-52 or the B-47 and I've got even some other more kind of STEM type things based on my background. I sometimes play the kind of the history and current stuff, what's going on with U-2 or the SR-71 back in the old days and the pressure suits. And
both awesome bands, by the way, U2 and SR-71, fantastic bands.
Yeah. But,
named after the aircraft, obviously, which is funny because I was a huge fan of the band SR-71. It was so hard to find information on the band when I was a kid because I would Google it.
I'd never heard of it. A band called SR-71?
There is. Yeah, I'll have to show you after we get off the air. But when I was younger, I would Google the band, or I would look up the band online, and I would come up with pictures of aircrafts. So I actually learned about the SR-71 from, you know, trying to search for this band. So I was fascinated by it. But one of the things I love about the museum you have out there is your connection to, you know, to the STEM world, to science, technology, engineering, and math, and getting kids involved with very almost hands-on displays and you know, sensory displays like that. It's an awesome setup.
Yeah, it's great. Bob Donnell and his wife Peggy they're great. They kind of handle the flight simulator stuff that we got from XL Energy grant. Thank you to XL Energy for that. And so we have a couple $6,000. Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to say that, but anyway, they're really not. They're nice flight simulators, and we have them set up for a 172, and they do a little taxiing, which requires kind of a different thing where you steer by your feet without touching the yoke, you know.
Really?
Yeah. So you just go by throttle and your rudder pedals, and so you get to practice taxiing, and then we have a takeoff and then let them fly. And they fly through these squares, and if they all, you know, every time they go through a square, they get a ding, you know. And if they fly through all the squares without missing any, and they get this big band playing and kind of celebrates the fact they did a good job. Anyway.
I feel like I could hold my own once I'm up there. It's the taking off and the landing that really gets me. That's the complicated part of it.
Yeah.
I watch this lady on TikTok who basically every day you can watch her pre-flight checklist. It takes like an hour and a half to go through all those pre-flight checks just to go up for like 15 minutes. Whew, there's a lot. I mean, and understandably, because you know you're putting your life in the sky, you need to make sure that everything is up to speed. And you guys have some really cool simulators out there at the museum that allow people to do that.
Yeah, right now the simulators are Lockheed software, and it's EduStations from STEM Pilot Incorporated. They're out of Connecticut. But it'll actually fly 50 different aircraft, and if you get a pilot coming in and go, oh, 172, big deal, blah, blah, blah. You say, well, if you wanted to, you could select an F-35 fighter landed Istanbul, Turkey at 9 o'clock at night in the rain.
Whoa,
and they go, oh, okay, a little more challenging, you know. So,
right. I like that. You can step things up a notch.
Oh, sure.
Set the difficulty level.
Once they get up to speed, they can switch over. And I know my sister's son was here visiting he lives in Manhattan. So we got him. He was flying around New York City telling me about 90% of it was accurate. But he said, nope, this right here is not in this location. It's over here, you know, whatever.
Right.
So, but he had a lot of fun just putting around the area.
It's about as accurate as we call it, like say Google Maps is.
Yeah.
It's not always gonna hit, but it's at least slightly accurate. I was never big on flight simulators growing up, but I used to play Top Gun on the NES. It is impossible to land that plane on the aircraft carrier. I tried for like hours and hours, never could do it. So it's really cool to see how far they've come with flight simulators and the technology behind it, and that you can input any kind of conditions, any place, and different aircraft. That's really neat.
By the way, WalkerAirForceBase.org, WAFB. Museum.org is our website, and we right now, our current board members, just bring up to speed, is, of course, myself. Katie Yates is our treasurer, and we're looking for a new treasurer because she's going to start teaching full-time.
Oh, nice.
Sandy Correa, Bob Donnell, Julie Anna Halverson, who's now one of our city council people, Judy Armstrong, Jerry Cloffer, Friar Milwaukee, and Stephen Miller. Also a new member that's he's out there almost every day, Monday through Friday, is a veteran, a retired lieutenant colonel from the Army, Ted Smith. And he has he's a history crazy buff, man. He just goes crazy on stuff. So you can go in there and you can sit there and talk to him for an hour about all kinds of stuff. He's down right now in San Antonio, but he'll be back here probably by Wednesday or Thursday. So anyway, Bob Donnell, myself, and Ted were out there and welcoming people to come in and visit. And I think, today, later in our program, I usually do a little history thing.
Sure.
And I want to maybe dispel. Some people have the mistaken idea that the bombers that dropped the atomic bombs on Japan.
Batman and Little Man?
Yeah. Came out of Walker, or, the Walker Aviation.
Sure.
On the Walker Air Force Base, but it wasn't that until later, Roswell Army Airfield.
Okay.
But kind of clarify that, where they came from Wendover, from the last stage of kind of how that set up, and so they get a little history of at least the 393rd Flying Squadron, Bomber Squadron, and then the some other folks. So
that's fascinating because I've heard a lot of rumor speculation that those planes that carried those bombs flew out of Roswell, and there's always been like a almost misconception that was kind of
post-war. That was post Hiroshima and post Nagasaki. They did come back to Roswell.
So they came back here.
Yeah, they came back here, and that's when Roswell Army Airfield and later Walker Air Force Base was the premier, and at one time, but the only atomic bombing base, in the United States, because the B-29s had to be modified to carry the current large, weird, sized bombs that they
payload,
had then. Yeah.
That's crazy. I had no idea. That is absolutely fascinating. That Roswell was on the map as the premier, or at that point the only destination for that fitting. That's fascinating.
Yeah. So, and then, as everybody knows, that when it came down to the Cuban Missile Crisis, at that point, the Atlas missiles, the 12 Atlas missiles surrounding Roswell, had just gone on full status and were ready to go during that particular crisis. So Roswell was kind of a key target if we were to get into a war,
right,
of being the premier atomic bomb base, plus size being surrounded by Atlas missiles.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you look at Roswell now, and you think, well, there's we've calmed down quite a little bit, but the history behind the Walker Air Force Base is absolutely fascinating. And one of my favorite things to do is actually jump on the Remembering Roswell Facebook page, because you can really be treated to just a history lesson of what Roswell was like back then, being a military town essentially that was a lot more fitted, basically with stuff for the community.
Yeah.
That sort of things have deteriorated over the last few decades. But when we were a military town, we were absolutely booming. It's fascinating.
We've elected, because we don't have enough people. We just barely have enough people to keep it open. We're not really going to be running a golf tournament. And what we're probably going to do is just go around to some of the companies that have helped us in the past and just ask for some,
sure,
support. And in the past, some of our key people that have helped us keep our doors open and function is, of course, XL Energy, Roswell Toyota, Pioneer Bank, Aircell was a big player.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn's Furniture's helped us out some, and Featherstone Development Corp, and a few other docs like Dr. Paul Engstrom and Phil Cathy and other individuals scattered around town. We really appreciate their support.
Absolutely. Now, I also understand you guys are, and this is a consistent thing, is we're always looking to grow the board. We're always looking to
yes, absolutely. We need people
for folks that have an interest in aviation, in history, in learning more, and also to helping others kind of open the doors to learn more.
Yeah, if everybody could see me on TV or actually could go on the computer and watch me, you could say, man, yeah, I understand. Bob Sherman, he's kind of getting up there. I'm a Roswell High class of 61 graduate. So
is that right?
I'm coming up on the big 80 number. But, yeah, we definitely need some new, younger blood in there so that when people like myself, and I know Bob Donnell's really helped out, and all other members of the board have been very helpful. But we're going to really definitely need some new blood to kind of keep things going. Mm-hmm. And by the way, for those that are on the computer, I have a newsletter here I'm holding in front of the camera.
And this is beautiful, by the way. Very well put together.
We got that. Now it's been put on the website, so you can go on the website and read the newsletter. So this kind of gives you an up to speed a few things going on. This is thanks, of course, to Juliana Halverson. She's our technical wizard that puts this stuff together.
She's a phenomenal at putting stuff like this together. One of the things that I love about the Walker Aviation Museum is its location inside the airport, in that when people fly into Roswell, they come here for a reason. We're really not a layover town or a layover city. So when people come to the Roswell airport, they're coming here to come to Roswell. They're coming here to learn about Roswell. And it gives you a great opportunity that while you're passing through the airport, before you get to the aliens, before you get to the the UFOs and all the the speculation and stuff, you get to dive into the actual history of really a place that world military organization could not have happened without the Walker Aviation or without the Walker Air Force Base.
Right.
And it's a fascinating dive into history.
If you come into the lobby, there's where you can grab a snack there where you're waiting for your airplane to take off. There's a big, 10 feet wingspan, big model of a B-29 hanging over you.
Really?
And in the paper, they mentioned they were going to remove that model. And actually what they meant to say was the painting on the wall was removed to put the sign, some stuff up. I talked to Scott Stark about that, and he said, no, that they don't have any plans on removing that model, so that model's going to be there. I was kind of concerned because that's kind of a key thing. It's right outside of our museum, and it's, the B-29 was really tied into Roswell in a lot of ways, and the history that it has. Unfortunate that we had to use the atomic weapon, but, things are the way they are. And I thought before we get into some other history right quick, I would mention, like Sean, you mentioned we have that STEM item. Besides coming out and doing the flight simulator, we try to get groups of 8. And the reason for that is we got 2 simulators. That way, when we break people up for an hour to fly the flight simulator, we got 2 on a simulator versus 3 or 4, and that's gets kind of out of hand. So, for example, we've got the New Mexico Youth Challenge coming out on Friday, 8. Okay. And then the following week, another group of 8 are coming out from the New Mexico Youth Challenge. And we're going to try to get, of course, Roswell Independent School District. We look for getting 14 to 18-year-olds out there.
Okay, so we're talking like high schoolers. High
schoolers.
Sure.
Or middle school.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's a great time to kind of spark that interest in aviation, in the history behind the Walker Aviation Museum, and to kind of have that chance to kind of dive into that.
And the other side of that is, while those are doing the flight simulator, the other group, as I've mentioned before in this program, are seeing they're seeing 15 different YouTube videos on various STEM careers, STEM being science, technology, engineering, and math.
Sure.
And we don't go to the STEAM yet. We're just sticking with the STEM right now. But
we'll let the others handle the arts.
Oh, sure.
We're all about the techniques.
So we sit down, and they're anywhere from like a minute and a half to 3 or 4 minutes long. We see science, technology, and math overview, careers in aviation, Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Aviation Maintenance Technician Program, a day in the life of a wind turbine engineer, Crumlin Auto Group and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell Auto Mechanic Program, oil well worker career, what does a registered nurse do? Architectural engineering versus architecture, what's the difference? And now we're running 5 really short but really interesting U.S. Air Force recruiting videos on technical training overview, aerospace ground equipment, air traffic control, electronic principles, and geospatial intelligence.
Okay.
And the last one we show is Day in the Life at CIA.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I got that idea...
I thought that you couldn't confirm or deny that you have spent a day in life.
Well, if you watch
CIA.
that, then there... I take Science News and some other science magazines, and on the back recently of the Science News magazine that comes, there's a full page on the total back cover on all the technical science jobs you can get at the CIA. Really? So the CIA is advertising on magazines and stuff. But
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Love to go work for the
what
CIA.
we're trying to do is open kids' eyes saying, man, I never thought about doing that for a living.
Yeah.
So.
I've never once in my entire life been called intelligence. So to think I could work for an intelligence agency,
right.
That's awesome. Sign me up. I'm in. And that's great too, because it's giving the next generation, the kids that are coming up, some ideas. You don't have to necessarily be dead set on, I'm going to be this when I grow up. You can come in wondering and be open to all sorts of different career opportunities. And this is a great chance to kind of dip a toe into a lot of different careers.
Yeah. Steve Griffin is a retired Navy guy, but he was a professional weatherman the whole time, and he's put in a lot of his equipment. We've got it now labeled, it's hanging on the wall there. And you also come in and people can touch the touch screen, just similar. We worked with the UFO Museum when they updated their stuff with the Walker stuff when you go in there. So you can touch and get a two-minute history of Walker Air Force Base, or you can get a 2-minute history of the Atlas F missile.
That's very cool.
So that's still there, along with the other videos that we have running. So
yeah, and that's one thing that I admire about the Walker Aviation Museum is the adherence to the new tech, to the touch screens, to the STEM installations. You guys have kind of your fingers in a lot of different pies, and you're keeping kids and this next generation interested and active in learning about the history of the Walker Air Force Base. Yeah. It's absolutely great. Real quick before we dive into the history lesson, I did want to talk about the Amazon Smile affiliate program.
Oh yes, right.
Because that's one way that if you're thinking I want to help out the Walker Aviation Museum, what they're doing and their mission, you just don't know how. Well, if you're shopping on Amazon, they've got a Smile link. It's super simple and super easy to use.
That's right.
Yeah, you head over to I believe it's you head over to the Walker Aviation Museum website, which is wafbmuseum.org. There's a link on the website, and then that'll link you to Amazon. You just do your shopping through there, and a portion of the proceeds go directly back to the Walker Aviation Museum.
Right. That's right, and that's what I try to make sure I do, because I get a few books and stuff.
Yeah. I exclusively buy my paper towels and toilet paper on Amazon. So I do what I can.
Too much information. Okay.
I go Viva and Angel Soft. That's too much information. So let's dive into a little history, because you kind of gave us a little taste a second ago, but I'm fascinated by this because I wasn't born in Roswell, but I'm as close to a native son as you could be. I spent a lot of time here, and I've heard a lot of those stories that Roswell was the center point for all of the goings on with Fat Man and Little Man, and that New Mexico and of all the things that happened with Los Alamos and down in Alamogordo, that we were the place that it launched from. So let's dive in.
Okay. Wendover Field, or Wendover Air Force Base. A lot of people mistakenly think the Enola Gay that dropped the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Boxcar, which dropped in Nagasaki, which was an alternate target, came from Roswell Army Airfield and later Walker Air Force Base. The history of the bombers and the 393rd Bomb Squadron 509th Composite Group were all very important parts of the Walker Air Force Base after the war, and it's tied very closely to Wendover, and this is why. Wendover Army Airfield's history began in 1940 when the United States Army began looking for additional bombing ranges. Area near the town of Wendover, big population of 100 people at that time in 1940, was well suited for the needs because it was virtually uninhabited. Only people that got upset were the ranchers when they took a large section of that.
Sure.
Had excellent flying weather. It was the nearest largest city was Salt Lake City, about 100 miles to the east. It's right on the border, the western border of Utah.
Okay.
Okay. The population. Okay. Though isolated, it's served by the Western Pacific Railroad, so they could get material in there pretty easy. Construction on the base began in September 1940, and the bombing range in November 1940. The base and associated bombing ranges, get this, was 1,822,000 acres.
Wow.
It was the base.
So a little bit of space.
Yeah, the base and the bombing range and the gunnery range and all that stuff was 86 miles long and between 18 and 36 miles wide, running up and down that 86 miles. So you can kind of imagine what that'd be like from here down to Artesia all the way to Rio Doso. You know what I mean? Like, so the ranchers complained about being overridden by the governor and the War Department. So they said, no, we're going to put that here. So the United States entered World War II. Wendover Field took on the great importance, and it was a really large bombing range. So the new base was supplied and serviced by the Ogden Air Depot out of Hill Field, like Hill Air Force Base in the future. By late 1943, there were 2,000 civilian employees at Wendover, 17,500 military personnel at Wendover, and construction had started, and they'd built already 3 8,100-foot runways, 300,000 square foot ramp, all that kind of stuff. And by May 1945, the base had 668 buildings on it, 300-bed hospital, gymnasium, swimming pool, 361 housing units. You get the idea. It was a big base. Training of B-17 Flying Fortress and B-24 Liberator groups began in April 42 using this bombing area. So between 42 and 44, Wendover hosted 20 newly formed B-17 or B-24 bombing groups. Okay. Now, in June 43, preparation began for the operational use of atomic bombs.
Right.
The best plane, I didn't know this, the best plane to use to carry and drop the atomic bomb at that time was the British Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
Because it had a 33-foot bomb bay, huge bomb bay.
Sure.
So, but Major General Groves, the director of the Manhattan Project, and General Hap Arnold, the chief of the United States Army Air Forces, wanted to use an American airplane. Okay. So the B-29 Superfortress was chosen, even though it required substantial modification. And you probably have heard of that. The modifications of those aircraft became known as the Silver Plate. They were.
Okay. That's what that is. I've heard the terminology. I did not know that's what that was referencing. Okay.
The modification project was called the Silver Plate, and the code name eventually became identified with the training and operational aspects of the program as well. Then Hap Arnold selected Colonel Paul Tibbets, an officer with distinguished combat record in Europe and North Africa, and was an expert in the B-29. So Tibbets came to Wendover, and he started training with his guys there. And but it was also a reasonable distance by air from the Manhattan Project Site Y at Los Alamos, and also another site in the Salton Sea, which is on the southern tip of California, inland a little bit. There's a salt sea down there. I had to look that up on a Google. Just did a Google thing on Air Station Salton Sea and see where that was. But the base was given the code name Kingman and became the Manhattan Project Site K, as in Kilo, K. And the activity to assemble, modify, and flight test prototype bombs was named Project W-47, of all things. And 14 September 44, the 393rd, that's the ones that was at Walker.
Right.
393rd Bomb Squadron arrived at Wendover from its former base in Fairmont Army Air Base, Nebraska, where it had been an operational training unit. The 509th Composite Group was created in 17 December 1944, which the 393rd Bomb Squadron became a part. 800 people were assigned off and on of different specialties to the 509th. And the Manhattan Project, the first technical detachments, was attached to the 509th. And the 216th Army Air Forces Base Units, Special, constructed prototype atomic weapons without nuclear material, of course, and drop tested them. In February 1945, a flight test section was created within the 216th Army Air Force Bases unit to carry out testing of prototype bombs in the shape of Little Boy and Fat Man bombs. And the 393rd Bomb Squadron, led by Paul Tibbets, had his aircrew flying practice drops of these bombs, plus 50 practice drops of inert, what they call pumpkin bombs, before he declared his group combat ready. At that time, they all jumped on either airplanes or ships, and they headed out for Tinian. And the rest of it's kind of history. Conducted the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs on the 6th and 9th of August, 1945. And they returned to Roswell, the 509th Composite, and the 393rd returned to Roswell on Walker Air Force Base. And today, Wendover is a civilian airport. So that's kind of where all that came from.
So this was certainly not, pardon the pun, a fly-by-night operation. They definitely, a lot of planning, a lot of training went into making sure that everything was.
And I shortened my, because it goes on paragraph after paragraph. If you read about that, of all the training and special modifications and stuff they did, getting ready to go over to Tinian.
And essentially, they put Wendover on the map. They became like the town of Wendover is there because of this military operation.
That's right.
That's absolutely fascinating.
Oh, a big town of 100 people to begin with.
Sweet Enola Gay, as they say.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fascinating. Well, that's awesome. And this is just kind of a sample of some of the history that you can get by visiting the Walker Aviation Museum. There's a ton of amazing stories and amazing information you can get out there. One of the things I noticed, I was actually driving back into town the other day. It fascinates me that I can see and I don't know if there's like a name for it, but I can see the airplane graveyard before I can actually see the water towers here in Roswell. Like I can see all the different planes that we have along the along our tarmac before I actually caught the water towers. That's how significant they are to me. That we have so many just decommissioned planes and planes that are out there for parts or planes that are being worked on. It's always something new to see out there.
Now, a lot of those planes, Sean, are they're just being stored.
Right.
Yeah, because they're active. Like when the 637 Max had their accidents, and Boeing, they had to ground all those airplanes.
Right.
At one time, we had over 500 active airplanes that were good, but were just sitting here and paying rent to the city of Roswell just to stay here. And with the COVID, slowdown and stuff.
Right.
So I think we're down to a little less than 300 now. I'm not sure, but Scott Stark could tell you all that. But yeah, you're right. A lot of those are decommissioned that they're kind of taken apart and using parts on, but some of them are still, of course, just good.
Sure.
And people flying, it's like, man, this is a huge airport, except the building's really little.
Yeah.
I said, well, those planes are just in storage. You're not actually, flying on a day-to-day basis.
But it does make us, it gives us a nice footprint on Google Earth.
Because it shows you how big Walker was, the big runways. And we all know that we see airliners come in, they use these because the traffic is not high.
Right.
So they can come in and do touch and goes, and the Navy can come in with their fighters, and the guys can practice landing and takeoffs and stuff. So that's kind of a nice thing. If you're like I am, a 30-year Air Force veteran, my wife, even when she hears a fighter jet going overhead, she thinks, wow, that's great. Sound of freedom. Because she's used to that, being on bases where it was just nothing but flying overhead all the time.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So, this is just a great organization out there. The Walker Aviation Museum, we want to, of course, encourage anybody who wants to donate time or, of course, funds to the museum. They can absolutely use either one of those things. But if you're, flying out, or even if you just have, a few minutes around lunchtime or whatever, pop into the museum and give yourself a little history lesson. It's absolutely fascinating. If folks want more information about the museum, about what you guys are doing, where can they find you?
Well, you just go to the website, wfbmuseum.org.
.org.
Yeah. And again, come on in, and we just love to talk to you. We've had people we don't have much room for stuff, but we are still getting information and stuff. We got a really nice, back in the old days, 1940 uniform from some folks. And we've been doing a little flag flying. We had a couple people send us flags that, my father was stationed there, and or my grandfather was. Would you fly the flag? And we fly the flag, and Juliana takes a few pictures, and we send them back the video and stuff. So we've done that a couple times.
That's very cool. Very cool. So yeah, wafbmuseum.org. If you want more information, you can also find the link to the Smile affiliate account there, and that'll be a great way you can contribute, some extra funds to the museum.
Right. Right now, Monday through Saturday, the planes. I think the schedule has changed. There's a takeoff around, I think, a little bit after 10 in the morning. So we're opening up about 7:45 to 8.
So basically, when there's a flight going out, the museum is essentially open.
And when the flight was leaving at 1 o'clock, we were opening up about 10:30 or 11.
Okay.
And staying open for a couple hours, maybe half an hour past the takeoff time.
Sure. So plenty of opportunity. And again, if you want more information, Walker, wafbmuseum.org. Or is there a phone number that folks can call if they want to see if maybe you guys are open at the moment?
I think that's on the website.
Just go to the website and they'll have all the info. Perfect.
Right.
Very good. Well, Robert, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it, Sean.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, folks, contribute to the Walker Aviation Museum because it's such a fascinating history. And every time I talk to Robert, I learn something new about Roswell. I've been here for more than 20 years. There's always something new to learn around here. So talk to Robert, talk to the folks that know, because that's really where you find out the fascinating info. Once again, Robert, thanks so much for your time.
I appreciate it, Sean.
Appreciate it. Sean
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared
joining us
Cirillo.
in
North
studio
Garden
this morning
Avenue
from the
will be
Walker
closed
Aviation
to
Museum,
traffic
Mr.
from
Robert
East
Sherman.
2nd Street to Cherry Street in Roswell beginning June 13th through 17th as pavement work is taking place. Signs will be directing drivers to detour routes, including access to local residences. Nearby businesses along Garden Avenue will be able to be accessed by reaching Garden from East College Boulevard. A Carlsbad High School junior has been named the Gatorade New Mexico Softball Player of the Year. The honor goes to Faith Aragon, who helped lead her team to a 30-1 record and a state championship title this year. Aragon is arguably one of the best combined hitters and pitchers in the state. She went 16-1 on the mound with a 1.91 ERA. And coronavirus cases on the rise again in New Mexico, but there is good news. Top state health officials said Wednesday that a return to mask mandates and other widespread public health restrictions were unlikely because infections were becoming more mild. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Make your home a smart home with smart home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today 575-755-1000 or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get smart home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And that's going to do it for us for today's show. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have a great weekend. It's going to be warm, so stay cool. Maybe get some pool time this weekend and drink lots of liquids in between the adult beverages especially. So have a great weekend. Thanks again. We'll be back bright and early Monday morning with an all-new show. Don't forget, if you missed any part, you can always check out the show at your leisure, ksvptv.com, or you can go to our Roswell's Talk FM YouTube channel or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook